Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the glorious story of the Horde. My lord, what a day it has been. What a day it has been. Okay, so we are back. It's here. Yes, everybody make sure to hit the like button. It's much appreciated. Every like counts. Feeds me to the algorithm. Please, please feed me dinner. Feed me. Oh man, what did you miss last episode? Not much, to be honest. We basically spent the entire episode in the Fog Islands hunting Fogmen. You missed a near death experience at the end when we found out where one of the one of the triggers for the next phase of the infection is. But other than that one near death experience, we were mostly getting money and hunting Fogmen last episode. This time, I think we're finally trained up enough that we can go out into the world again and start actually taking down some of the early game bounties to try and get some money and some Mato equipment and get ready and whatnot. But we have a base of operations in Mongrel because, oddly enough, Mongrel, one of the most dangerous cities in vanilla Kenshi, is actually one of the safest cities in Outbreak because the Fogmen provide a natural barrier for the zombies, apparently. So that's pretty funny. Oh man. Okay. So we are back. I finally figured it out, guys. I finally figured it out. Earlier today, I was able to figure out what was causing the naming issue with Arthur, Luke, and Morgan here, why their names kept changing, and that got ironed out as well. So that is no longer an issue that I am having, thankfully, because it was really pissing me off. Really pissing me off. How big are the zombies now? They are not that big because we decided not to try and mess with the trigger point because there's easily 100, 200 zombies inside that place. We're not quite ready to deal with that yet, so we're not there. We're still recruiting, still getting people, still getting building numbers for the impending apocalypse, and still outfitting ourselves. So today's goal is to leave the Fog Islands and go out into the world. What's a trigger point? Oh, like a world, something that triggers a world state change. Sorry. There's an NPC, so there's specific NPC zombie, like specific zombies that will trigger world state changes. It's the same as how if you kill like the Phoenix, there's world state changes. If you kill any important diplomatic NPCs, they're trigger points for a world state change. All right, so Burn, we're gonna have you go ahead and gather up the foobs, right? We're gonna have you gather up the foobs, the little bit of foobs that we have. My God. Yeah, we don't have much in the way of food right now, so we will be returning here to gather supplies at some point, but not at current point. Do we have, actually, you know what? To be honest, if we're going to leave, we might as well just prepare ourselves for the possibility of not coming back, just in case. So we're actually going to gather up some materials. Gather up some of them materials, bring some of this stuff with us, just in case. Crumble giant. Yeah, you don't need that. That's fine. Take that. Take that. And iron plates. We'll just load up on all this stuff here. Again, gotta prepare for that possibility that we don't come back. Stunning. All right, let's get out of here. Why doesn't the Bugmaster wear armor? Because he's 1,000 years old and kind of insane and doesn't feel the need to wear armor anymore. He's functionally a nudist. I mean, he's basically an animal at this point, to be honest with you. Basically an animal at this point. Wait, who's talking what now? People are talking shit now. Who's saying what now? Oh, Luke's talking more shit. Beep. This whole place stinks of rotten heresy. I'd rather be gutting Fogmen and than standing around listening to the wind. Morgan, the wind's the only thing talking sense out here. At least it doesn't lecture me about Okran while sharpening a sword. Burn, quiet's a luxury in Mongrel. Enjoy it while it lasts. When the fog stops whispering, it's usually because it's already decided who's next. Luke says, you know all about waiting, wouldn't you, skeleton, hiding behind that rusted face while the world burns? At least the Fogmen have the decency to attack head on. Dude, he's such a dick, man. Morgan, Luke, drop it. Burns pulled more weight in a week than you have since we crossed the border. If you want to fight, save it for something else, something that pays. Burn, let the boy bark. Teeth don't break, and neither does old steel. Well, when the quiet breaks, well, I'll remember which side of the wall we're on. My God, man, they've got such an interesting dynamic between all of them, honestly. They've got such an interesting dynamic. What was causing your issue with the names, old characters, I guess? The issue that I was having with them was caused by the fact that they were from a custom start. and the characters themselves, so Arthur, Luke, and Morgan, are custom characters. Like they're not characters that were created in the character editor. They were characters that I had created prior and then made their own character, like their own profiles in the FCS. So they are unique, but they weren't listed as unique. And so because of that, every time I loaded in, it just gave them a generic new name. It also didn't help that they were listed as being in the Nameless Platoon 0 instead of Nameless Platoon 1, like every other NPC was. So I had to switch them in the FCS to be listed as unique NPCs instead. Um, yeah, so is he a skeleton or something? How is he that old? The Bugmaster is functionally immortal. He's halted his own aging process, and he's been around since the Second Empire, as far as we can tell. There's skeleton dialogue to indicate that. The skeletons will openly say, like, hey, he's when you go into a rack, there's only skeleton characters can say this, and it's important that skeleton characters can say it because they've been around the entire time, right? They've been here since the first Empire, so they're not speaking from like a mythological standpoint. They're speaking from a first person perspective. They say this is a rack. This is where the Bugmaster has sat for hundreds of years, hundreds plural, meaning that he's several hundreds of years old. Additionally, the fact that he knows about Catlon, and he's seemingly the only NPC that knows exactly where Catlon is, implies that he has firsthand knowledge of Catlon. He's building an army to fight Catlon. And then his presence around the skin spiders and being called the Bugmaster and everything else kind of indicates the idea that he may have been involved with the Second Empire in some capacity. I think he was a geneticist during this in the Second Empire, and he actually was the one that headed the creation of what would become the Shek, the Enforcers, as well as the Hybers later on. And if you think about it from that perspective, somebody that has the ability to create, genetically modify humans to such a degree to create Shek and Hybers, halting the aging process would be child's play, especially since there is another animal on Kenshi that the gene for becoming ageless could be isolated from, and that is crabs. Crabs are functionally immortal. They don't age. They die from exhaustion or die in combat, and that's a real life thing. They don't age. They just continuously grow, and then eventually they either die from exhaustion because they can't molt out of they don't have the energy to molt out of their shell. They don't have enough. They can't continuously intake enough food to support their own biological systems, and they die of exhaustion, or they suffocate themselves in their own shells, or they die in battle. So, if the Bugmaster was to, say, hypothetically create the Hybers and then isolate the genes from the crabs, which are on Kenshi, to halt his own aging process, he could make himself functionally immortal. So, but there's a lot of evidence in game to suggest that the Bugmaster is at least a couple hundred years old, but I'd wager that he's at least 1,000+ years old. Especially also, there is some slight variation in the number that appear, but the teeth in his chest in the Bugmaster's throne is actually, if you count them out on average, it comes out to just enough teeth to where full sets of teeth. If he lost them every 40 years, which would make sense because he obviously isn't taking care of his teeth, but he also doesn't eat a lot of stuff that would destroy his teeth, so he'd have about 40 years with them before they really started to go bad. He has enough teeth in there to have gone through 40 years, every 40 years for about 1,000-ish years, 1,000 to 1,200 years, I mean. So a lot of good evidence to support the idea that the Bugmaster is old. Do you have a place where you post Sentient Sans profiles for Beep and all them? I don't currently, but I've had a couple people ask me, so I might make one. I might make a spot to post them. Something else that I thought would be fun, and I don't know if I might do it on this one just because it's the Survivor run. Something I thought would be fun is if I post the template for creating profiles on Sentient Sans, I'm thinking about having some of my viewers and my channel members and stuff submit their own character profiles, and then I'll put them in the game, and you'll be able to like create a character that has the personality that you've deigned into the apocalypse and like fight in the playthrough. So like I might post the template for people to follow to input their own profiles and have like all of the all of the people like here. The Beep that you made seems to be the best one so far. I put a lot of effort into Beep. Hold on, let me pull up his profile. I spent a disturbing amount of time agonizing over Beep's backstory and personality. between writing my own writing on it, because most of this is my own writing, and then some of it is like me pulling directly from the wiki, like certain lines that I think would help with his backstory and his speech quirks. And this doesn't even cover the speech quirks section that appears in the actual like configuration file, because there's personality, backstory, and then it's not shown here, but there's a speech quirk section that you have to use as well that determines how they talk. And that one took a really long time. But because of that, I have easily what I think is the most realistic and best version of Beep that I've seen on Sentient Sans. He behaves exactly like himself, which is exactly what I want. Like this first interaction in the playthrough here, after I redid his dialogue, is peak. I mean, Ruka says the walls are holding, but I counted 4 new cracks in the eastern gate this morning. Another week of this, and we'll be patching with Fogman Bones. Beep says that's okay. Beep can hold the gate himself. I've been practicing my sword swings on the dead ones that crawl over the rubble. They're very slow, you know. And then they talk more about it. Ruka says the hive drone has more spine than Uni. At least he's willing to stand in front of the gate. I'd rather charge into the mist than listen another day about counting cracks and rationing water. And Beep says exactly. Beep is very brave, also very hungry. Does anyone have a piece of bread? I haven't eaten since yesterday, and my stomach keeps making angry buzzing noises. Beep thinks the quiet is nice. It means I can hear my own footsteps. Usually there's too much groaning and crunching to think properly. Like, he's very Beep. He's very Beep, and I love it. I love everything about it. Hey, Razzle, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, really good dialogue stuff. Really good dialogue stuff. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. We need to continue to build up the profiles. Beep is free to be... Yeah, Beep is free to be himself. He is free to be himself. Is there a way to set a template for the world event log generator on the mod? Keeps repeating world gen behaviors. I don't know. I haven't messed with the world event generator too much. That has not been something that I've messed with too much. Everybody stop your jobs. You guys are not to do jobs right now. It's not what we're about. Not what we're about. All right. I'm going to get some better equipment for... Ooh, Morgan's taken care of. Ruka needs some armor. She needs some armor up top. Is what she needs. That's what she needs. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, you know what? Actually, we should probably spend some money on food. Well, we should be fine until we get down to the south. We have a couple of ration packs. We should be okay. We should be okay. Should be okay. That requires playing with the Storytell Lore Master folders, and that's something I'm less certain of. I mean, it's oh, Lore Masters folders. That's something I'm less certain of. What do you mean? Explain what you mean. I might be able to... Are you talking about with the world event generator? Because, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, with the world generator. Yeah, I haven't messed with it also. Samson seems as if they know what they're speaking about. I have no fucking idea, though. I have no idea. The world event generators makes rumors. Usually it's on interval time. Yeah, it's got an interval time, and it just makes rumors based on what's happening around you. Just makes rumors based on what's happening around you. Nothing too intensive. I don't think there's anything here that Ruka would use. No. The Drifter's half pants. Samurai leg guards. She is using dual katana, so it would make sense. Yeah, we'll give her some good leg guards. We're running Samurai temporarily, but I have a cool armor set that I'm excited of. Where are we thinking about building? Avalon Isles. So the theme of this particular faction that we're putting together is going to be and I have a faction name actually that I'm gonna use. We're gonna do the Knights of the End. Of the End. So that's our faction name. So I wanted to create a group that is very much like Knights of the Round Table, right? Very much like Knights of the Round Table, Arthurian style. Like seven leaders, and then we have our foot soldiers and all that stuff. And obviously Arthur will be at the head of it, and we'll kind of go from there and see who's gonna be see who else is gonna be in charge, who's you know deemed worthy of becoming a knight of our faction. But and so because of that, the Avalon Isles is like perfect, right? Is the Avalon Isles actually called Avalon Isles, or was it from an old mod? I'm pretty sure it's from an old mod, but it's kind of, it doesn't really have like a name that people call it. It's kind of just, as far as I know, I don't come over here very often in full transparency. So, but I've always thought of it as the Avalon Isles because it doesn't really have like a designation that I think anybody else calls it that. So, Avalon Isles is just what I tend to call it. Tends to be just what I call it. How do you think sentient saints will react to using disguises? Some steal some bandit armor, sneak into their camp to save prisoners. I wonder if it reacts properly. Never tried it, but that is an interesting idea, and I do wonder how it would function. We should get another backpack and some food, actually. Who else can carry stuff? We can have Helix do it. No, we'll have Crumble John do it so we can build up strength. My guy needs more strength. There's nothing out there. Hope you have blueprints for all the gear you want. I don't have the blueprints for the gear that I want yet, but we're working on getting it, and we have some of our initial resources, like initial research and stuff done and collected. So I mean, we're working on it. We are working on it. Throw these in here, and then I'm actually gonna have him trade with some of the people that are carrying building materials. And we'll throw those in there, along with some food. Burn. Mar again. Alright, we'll throw all these in here. Fabrics in there. Stunning. All right, and then we're going to go grab some food, and we'll be on our way. Are you using Tame Beasties? I am not. Oh, damn. Kenshi's crashing. Interesting. Yeah, we'll force save. Thank God for the forced save. Interesting. Interesting. Crash early on. First crash I've had with this run, though, so not bad. Not bad. Yeah, first crash I've had with this run. No big deal. Easy fix. We'll hop back in. 'Tis just Kenshi being Kenshi, that's all. We Kenshi too. It's true, we Kenshi too hard. Need 100 more mods. I always play with Tame Beasties. Gotta have a zoo. I tend to avoid Tame Beasties unless it's being used like specifically for the playthrough because what is it? I don't I find that using too many animals is a bit busted. I used a lot of animals in I used a lot of animals in my dwarf run, and I don't regret it, but since then I've tried to avoid it because I found that it was a little too busted, a little too broken. Plus, I'm using sentient sand, so if I wanted to recruit animals, I don't really need tame beasties to do it. Yeah, Samson gets it. Samson the Manson. It's true. It's true. All right, we'll hop back in. Let's try that again. Show me what you've got. Show me your food. And that, yeah, that's that. Okay, we're loaded up on foobs. Cool. Do a quick proper save. The Horde. Save again. The Horde. Stunning. Okay. We're off. You can have anyone join you with Sentient Sands. All right, so we're gonna leave the Fogman Isles. So we're gonna head the Fogman Islands, Fog Islands. We're gonna get a head out of here. There's a lot of Fogmen just hanging out there. Take them down, actually. Take these boys down. Wing Wang got hit. Jeez. Jesus Christ, there's so many of them in here. Shocked they managed to get this far. Was Hero the one who made Sentient Sands? No. Nope, not me. Guy named Harvey. Nice guy. Nice guy. Holy shit, dude, there's so many of them. They're like actively attacking the place. This is interesting. Yeah, they're like actively attacking the place. My God. Can I have a fast recap? Episode 2, we made our way to the Fog Islands. You know, we traveled around a little bit, made our way to the Fog Islands. Episode 3 was largely us it was almost entirely us getting money in the Fog Islands, killing fogmen, you know, selling their heads, all that good stuff, and making money. And now we're about to leave. Heroes of Kenshi 2 death. My God, these rumors. These rumors that are being fueled. Oh, sir. It's funny. The game looks almost foggy. I don't know if it's just me or something else. I mean, we're in the Fog Islands, so that would do it. That would inherently do it. I would definitely say you've made this mod a lot more popular. I've heard that from a couple people. I'm glad that I could help with it, because honestly, I think it's a beautiful mod. I think it's an absolutely beautiful mod. Skeletons might be goated for this run because they don't eat. Yeah, that was part of the intention. That was part of the intention. So, yeah, no, I'm excited. I think the Avalon Isles is gonna be a good move. Gonna be a good place for us to settle down, hang out. Got to avoid the zombies. We have to get over there, but update from an interaction a few streams ago. I asked you to give me ideas for recruit. And I finally for a recruit, and I finally found and made a really tall, wide, small-headed hybrid blacksmith named Chitin. We came up with, hell yeah, I'm stoked about it. I was actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was literally just thinking that the other day. Just thinking about it the other day. I also made one myself. His name is Helix. I made one myself. Lo-Fi said they're a fan of Hero, meaning Hero is a Kenshi 2 dev and they take his lore. He's just an unpaid employee. Does he have a legit does have a legit partnership, though? What do you think about me being an unpaid employee? No, I'm not a Kenshi 2 dev. I'm not a Kenshi 2 dev. Jesus Christ, the Fogmen and the zombies are like going at it, man. Are the zombies acid immune? If not, the Deadlands might be a move. I don't think they are initially, but I think by phase 2 they become acid immune. Although the number of zombies here right now is concerning. My God, Fog Isles is absolutely fucking packed. Hey, bad storm here. Hopefully it gets better, Saint. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully it gets better. Helix and Chitin are my new Beep and Agnew. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We're on our way. So we're going to head straight south. And we do have to keep in mind... I should have kept bounties galore on. There's a lot of good potential recruits from that mod that I didn't think about keeping on. I removed it from the mod list. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're interested in the mod list I'm using for this playthrough, it is available in the description now. I finally got the collection all done and uploaded. So the full mod list is in the description, and it's public, so you guys can download it and have your own zombie apocalypse adventure. Yeah, run off, dude. Have your own zombie apocalypse adventure. Bast might be hilarious for this mod. I'm concerned about the performance in Bast. Otherwise, I would consider it, but the performance in Bast is... I can handle Bast usually, but with the addition of zombies and the cannibals and the Holy Nation and the United Cities, plus my faction, I think Bast would be too unstable. Here, did you see the new Kenshi Steam avatars? So cool. I did see them. I did, in fact. In fact, I actually bought one of the new new frames, the new avatar frames. The one that gives you the Kenshi UI is the frame. Bought that one. I don't think I would crash too much, but I do think that I would probably end up having a crash every stream or two if I were to base and Bast. Bast is wacky. Yeah, sadly, it's an unstable place, almost as bad as the swamps at times. I would say that the swamps is definitely worse. Definitely worse But no, it's like the swamps, then Bast, then certain parts of the Fog Island, of the Fog Islands can be bad. Um, yeah, yeah, just a lot going on. Just a lot going on. Talking about Catlon. Talking about Catlon as they do. As they do. All right, so we're gonna head over here. We'll head to this paint shop. And then I think the plan is that we're gonna head down into the hub. We'll go into the hub. We'll recruit some people in the hub, perhaps, and then we're gonna go over and we're gonna try and take down the Dust King and get his Matos saber. He's got a hunting saber that I want to use. Imagine Shrieking Forest with a TS mod. Don't want to repeat of the New Shit Kingdom. Oh God. Nothing but nudists piled so high that I use their corpses as walls. Absolutely debilitating is what that was. I'm excited for Morrigan and Helix's romance subplot. My God. Would compression mods be compatible with your list? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Would the Horde go good with Project Cthulhu? I don't know. Theoretically, yes, because it just adds a new faction in. So theoretically, yes. And the factions in Project Cthulhu are strong enough that they could actually probably survive all the way to tier 3. But I think by tier 3, only the Jedi and Sith would be able to hold them off. So you definitely still have some really interesting interactions. But I think theoretically, yeah. Theoretically, yeah, it should work. Should work. I think the only concern would be if there are any triggers, or like any new locations that get in the way of that are added by the outbreak mod that get in the way of Jesus Christ loading in. That get in the way of the outbreak Project Thune, I mean. What do you think the worst weapon class is? What do I think the worst weapon class? When you say weapon class, let me just quantify that. You mean like worst type of weapon like these? Because I mean all of them are pretty good. And it also depends on what you're doing. Doesn't Cthulhu already have dead stormtroopers? Yeah, but they replaced the Fogmen. Is there any way of ending the zombie apocalypse? I think if you beat the named NPCs in stage 3, you win or you survive. But that's not. I'm not 100% on that. All right, we got Dust Bandits up here. Gonna walk through. We're just looking to pass. We don't want no trouble. A shitters. Okay, well that's kind of rude. Come here. Come here. I'll chat with you. Oh, you want to attack me? That's fucked up. Take him down. Take him downtown. Kicked him. Kicked him right in the chest. You fight Arthur, former paladin. Yeah, I'd say blunt if I had to go through each of the weapon types. Blunt's probably the least useful, but again, they all have uses depending on what you're doing, right? They all have uses depending on what you're using them for. Nice, get that low strike. Knock him down. Hell yeah, that guy. He's a schmuck. He's an absolute goon. Make our way back up to the hub. Are you running more combat slots with Kenshi? Yeah, I run 5 times combat slots, always. At least I should be. They should be on. Gameplay, yeah, I run 5 combat slots at all times. It's my go-to. I find combat far more enjoyable and far more dangerous. And I like living dangerously. Super heavy blunt weapons, not planks, like the Mercenary Club. Yeah. What do combat slots do? So combat slots are the number of enemies that can be attacking a single target at any given time. So in base Kenshi, even if you're surrounded with one person versus 100, you'll only ever fight one at a time, right? So what what adding combat slots does is it means that one person can be attacked by multiple people simultaneously. So if you have 5 combat slots and you're surrounded by 5 enemies, all 5 of them can attack at the same time. So that's but I like having them on because it feels more realistic. It also makes martial arts not as busted because in the base game, if you get high enough martial arts, like you're basically untouchable by numbers unless you fight somebody that has, good martial arts or equivalent martial arts or bows. Because, for example, Tin Fist can actually solo in normal Kenshi with 1 attack slot, can actually solo Catlon and all 120 Storm Thralls by himself because they just can't touch him. They just can't hit him. He dodges too quick because it's always just one person attacking, so he's only ever got to dodge one person at a time. Can you do solo runs with 5 combat slots? You can, but it's really fucking hard. Really, really fucking hard. Although if anybody could do it, it's not me. It's probably Frankie. If anybody could do it, it's probably Frankie. Definitely not me, though. Hell no. Definitely not me. Gonna be Frank on that. Call me Frank. Don't actually call me Frank, but, no, not me. All right, we're gonna go try and take the Dust King down. Saw those zombies stumble in the North Gate. Someone's been meddling with old bones. Never ends clean. Indeed. 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 Hello, Frank. Frankie soloing the world. Dude, Frankie could easily... I think Frankie could do it with 5 combat slots. In fact, I'm almost positive he has done it with 5 combat slots. I'm gonna take my glove off, see if that helps for a minute. I've had it on all day. Take it off for a while and see how my hand's doing. Bow kiting would be your best bet. Yeah, I think a combination of bow kiting, what is it, a soldier bot with martial arts and bow kiting would be the best way to go. You'd need like Agnew or a soldier bot, and then you could do a combination of martial arts and crossbow work ranged. Probably be your best bet. Probably be your best bet. How's the cardio? Not good because my stupid ass forgot that yesterday was a holiday. So I drove to the gym, got there, was like, wow, there's like nobody in the parking lot, only to realize that because it was Memorial Day, the gym actually closed at like 1 p.m. and my stupid ass didn't realize that until afterwards. So, not fucking good, to be honest with you. Not really good. Not really great. Not great. Could have been better. Could have definitely been better. So. I know your real name. I named a deer after you on accident. It's funny. All right, we've got more zombies here, so we're gonna go take care of them. Do we have any martial artists? Yeah, we have Burn. Burn's our martial artist. Yeah, so not great. Not great. By the time I got back, I thought so. I actually have an elliptical and a treadmill at home as well, but I just like the atmosphere of a gym, and I tend to be more consistent when I go to the gym. So I could have probably come home and done a run here instead, but by the time I got all the way there and then got all the way back, it was like 12:45, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna go to bed. Fuck this. I'm going to bed. So last night, not great. Gym was not great. Could have been better. Wow, dude, there's small hordes, man. Small hordes. Gyms helped me lock it. Well, and that's the thing. Like, so I actually, back in like 2022, February of 2022, I was like 260 pounds. And, I ended up so, all right. So when I was a teenager, up until I was like 18, 19, I was like 160, 170 pounds, and in great shape, right? Got with my wife, got comfortable, got a job, started a family, started working big boy jobs, and just, put on a lot of weight. By the time my kids were born, I was like 260 pounds. And then in 2022, I was like, fuck this. I'm going to, hit the gym again, go back to weightlifting. And, between February of 2022 and August of that year, I went from 260 pounds down to 170. Lost a shit ton of weight, was in great shape. And then since August of 2022, I've gotten back up to like 195. And just because, you know, life took over and things got, you know, ridiculous, and I got a little less consistent. So got to get back to it. Got to get back to it. And, you know, one thing I noticed was that being in the gym, because I have a home gym, right? But, like, I just wasn't being consistent with it. I wasn't being consistent with using it. I have, like, a squat rack, a weight rack. I have a shit ton of weights at the house, treadmill, elliptical, like the whole nine. You know, I turned my garage into a home gym. I just wasn't consistent with it. And I realized that part of it is the environment. I like going to the gym. I like being in the gym environment. It makes me feel good. I like the lock in there, you know? So, recently, what is it? A couple, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I started. Not even. It's like a month and a half, 2 months ago. I started, like, you know, re up my gym membership and started going again. So, gotta get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get it together. Heal up. How we doing on health? I think, yeah, we're doing pretty good. I mean, honestly, we're fucking clearing out zombies like it's nobody's business. Clearing out zombies like it's nobody's business. Good evening, hero, and all mad aligned individuals, groups, and coalescent beings. It's true. Hello, Eric. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It's exciting to see my stream numbers going back up too. This is off topic, but like I've been really stoked recently to see my stream numbers going back up too. From like January until probably mid-March, I was getting 250 to 300 people a stream. It was awesome. It was awesome. And then everything kind of like dropped off, and then I was getting like 25, 30 for a while. And recently it's been going back up to, like, by midstream I'm averaging, you know, between 60 and 80 people between Twitch and YouTube. So it's been really nice to see those numbers going back up again. Not that they were ever particularly bad, but it's been nice to see them going back up. Highs and lows. Oh yeah. No, these things come with the territory. They're part of it. You know, they're part of it. They're part of it. What the hell are you guys doing? Get off the turrets. That's not what you're here for. All right, Arthur, Luke, you take them. Shrike, I want you to focus on other people. Same with you, Ruka. You focus on other people. Rumble John, take the backpack off. Okay, good. Burn, you as well. Good. Good. Numbers aside, you're stuck with me. Good, Eric. I'm glad to have you here. Maybe something like a Forrest Gump movie stream the game on a treadmill. Yeah, I need a stand-up desk. I want to get a new stand-up desk at some point for that. I wish YouTube likes on lives actually helped it trend. They're only for interaction on here. They do help the algorithm. If a stream has a decent number of likes on it while it's active, it does help it show up on people's on people's feeds. What do you think I should do for money if I live in Darkfinger right now? I'm thinking hydroponic sake and selling in the UC. Hydroponic sake is a good start, but also you could hunt cannibal chieftains and sell them down too. What armor is Crumble John wearing? Crumble John is wearing the Hated Maker's new samurai mod that replaces the set. It doesn't replace, but it adds in a new samurai armor and makes it the default armor in the United Cities. Ton of variations of them. Speaking of streams, I had watched one of your streams where you talked about other streamers and content creators, and wow, yeah, it's all 100 Days as X, and the streams are kind of boring. Yeah, like it's all, there's 3 archetypes for Kenshi content and streams that I've found. It's 100 Days, it's Beep from weakest to strongest, and it's Destroy the Holy Nation. Those are the 3 archetypes that I see consistently in the Kenshi community when it comes to like long form content and streaming. It's those 3 things. It's Beep weakest to strongest, 100 Days, and Destroy the Holy Nation. And those are fine. Like, those are great archetypes, but they're just so repeated. Everybody does it. Everybody does it, you know? Everybody does it. So, I don't know. Oh yeah, and Tor Solo runs. Tor Solos are in there too. Yeah. So those 4. Tor Solo, weakest to strongest being Beep, 100 Days, and fucking Destroy the Holy Nations. Those are the things. That's it. If you take out those 4 things, you'll wipe out like 85% of Kenshi content, unfortunately, you know? Hero has 0 downtime on his lives. It's full discussion, not tedious gameplay. Well, that's the other thing too. I like to really interact with people. I like interacting. I like talking with the audience, right? Actually, for the first like month that I was streaming, I repeatedly threw my voice out because I was talking so much that my body wasn't used to it. Now I'm kind of my vocal cords have gotten used to it, thankfully. But I just, if you're on stream, you're not just playing the game. You know, something that kills me is that if you're on stream, you're not just playing the game. You're telling a story. You're entertaining. You're an entertainer. You have an audience to entertain, right? If you want to just play the game, that's fine, but do it as a video of like a long form content, right? Do it as long form content. Don't do it on stream. If you're streaming, then you have an almost an obligation to engage with and interact with your audience. Otherwise, why are you streaming? Why are you doing it? Just make a long form video, right? Like interact with people. That's kind of the whole thing. So I'm a firm believer that you should interact with your audiences the entire time. The entire time. The entire time. You should be consistently interacting with your audience. Hell yeah. Beat the shits out of this guy. Take him down. Nice. Nice. All right, we've got this Meito hunting saber now. I think I'm going to give that to Arthur temporarily. His saber skill is kind of shite, but it's obviously better. Is the .9377 plus 20 armor pen. This is 1 point. Yeah, obviously way better. Defense is increased. Decreases my attack, but ups my defense. We'll probably, I don't know who we're going to give it to, but we'll give it to somebody at some point. Maybe we'll give it to Wing Wang. Let him use it. That's why I like Made or Dumb. His wall videos and Trapped in My Base videos are 10 of 10 cinema. Yeah, I mean, he's got great content. I love Made or Dumb. Love Made or Dumb. I want to reach out to him and see if he's interested in doing something together. I'm really interested in seeing if he's going to do something. All because Ambiguous Amphibian did a tour solo right now. Everyone needs to do it. Well, everyone chases the trend, right? And it worked for him. So if they do it, it'll work for them. The problem is that, not that it's a problem, but like the thing is it kind of works. It kind of works. Will you turn your streams into long videos or movies? I have a bunch of streams saved from like my Darth Beep run, and I plan on doing something with them. I did one, and it didn't perform very well. It did not perform very well. The click-through rate on it was really bad. The average view duration was really, really bad. Like I lost like 60% of my audience by 30 seconds in on the Beep one, on the Darth Beep one, the Project Cthulhu one. So I have them on the backlog. I don't know yet. I don't know. I might do it. I haven't decided yet. In a few short years, Hero's scarred vocal cords will give him a chain-smoking grandma. It's true. I'm going to change my name to Champagne. I've been smoking for like 35 years. I haven't bought coffee since 1976. I just go to Walmart with a sandwich baggie and dump the bitch in my purse. Yeah, that's going to be me in a couple of years. No, I'm interested. I want to reach out to Mater Dumb and see if he's interested in doing something together, though. Maybe I'll ask him if he wants to get on the podcast. That'd be fun. Pedro and I are trying to find some other people to hop on the podcast. So maybe we'll see if he's interested in that. How's everybody doing? We're taking hits, but we're not doing terrible. We're not doing terrible. Crumble John's just over here fucking turreting it up. My God. Whips the turrets out, just starts hitting people. Burn, I need you to like get over here and actually like attack people. Come on. Start attacking people. Start attacking people. Nice. Morrigan is down. Arthur is still over here just killing it, crushing it, straight thrilling it. Well, now he's kind of getting his ass kicked now, but Luke, same deal, kind of getting his ass kicked, but he's moving. Helix is down, not surprised by that. He's one of our weaker guys right now. Beep is still up and fighting, although he's taking hits pretty... Okay, Beep is down. Beep is bleeding out now. Shit. Not great. Crumble John, where you at? Crumble John, run over here. Heal up Beep for half a second. Oh, no. Oh, no. Crumble John, hold them off. All right, yeah, we're getting swarmed now. We're getting swarmed. We're gonna have zombies soon. Burn's over here doing what Burn does. Hero confirmed he's a Kenshi 2 dev. I did no such thing. I did no such thing. I did no such thing. Jeez, I missed a lot of chat just now. Kenshi's a great game for long periods of AFK, sleeping, crafting, building, traveling, all opportunities to look at scenery and interact with something else. Well, that's what I'm saying. There's plenty of chance. Whenever you're traveling, just talk to the audience, man. Talk to the audience. I have a voice like that. I call it Dolores. That's funny. That's funny. I called mine Champagne or Clarice. That would make a stay. I can already see it. Chocolate. I remember chocolate. Yeah, it's true. I would watch your streams if you did that here. Oh, Champagne goes hard. Dude, listen, Champagne's been doing this for so damn long. Her favorite floor cleaner is Bona. Okay, she's been doing this since 1972, sweetheart. She's got the trach and everything. Oh, man. Mater Dunn being on the pod would be awesome. His videos are so high effort. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Guy's a great content creator. Absolutely great. Oh, man. I'm sitting here with two other engineers who are wondering why I'm laughing my ass off. It's funny. It's funny. I'm still trying to get you on acceptable losses for the Kenshi lore blurb. New game. Take a shot every time someone goes into recovery coma. I'd be shit-faced by like 5 minutes in. I like sabers in the game. I like forward sabers the most. I agree. I like the moveset. It's very flourishy. Very flourishy, excuse me. I'm all of lo-fi, and I can confirm Heroes of Death. Stop it, say it. Stop fueling these rumors. Stop it. These baseless rumors. We got to get some of these injuries checked out. Burn's gonna solo. Burn's gonna solo. He can do this. He's not gonna do this. Oh shit, we're actually in bad shape. We're in way worse shape than I thought. Goddamn. Limbs might be lost here momentarily. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. This is actually really bad. This is really, really bad. I didn't expect it to be this bad. I mean, we took down a lot of them, but like I thought that it'd go better than this for some reason. The numbers should have known. Oh, community guy, don't panic. Hey, Joe. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? They're in the chat. They're in the chat, everybody. They're in the chat. What's going on? My God. I was like, why is chat panicking? No, they're here. This was not good. I did not expect this. I thought we were far better prepared for this. I thought we were far better prepared for this, and we were not. Hopefully we can heal. Okay. So some of us are up, and we're getting healed up. I need someone to be able to heal up Beep because he's actively bleeding out. He is actively bleeding out. Hopefully Arthur can survive as well. We got Burn who's here. The thing is even after we heal up, we're going to have to be able to get up and leave, and some of us have so much damage to our legs that it's not going to go well. Luke in particular, he's probably going to lose that leg. I'm really concerned about Beep right now. He is in rough shape. Lo-fi Lightning Heroes content means it's different. Guys, stop it! Stop it! You're gonna get me in trouble. Stop it! I promise I'm not. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. Stop. Stop it. Lo-fi shows up to call me out on my sins. It's true, Sam. This is what you get. This is what you get. This is what you get. These baseless things. This is what you get, my friend. Okay, so Arthur's healed up. Luke is still unconscious. I'm hoping that he finishes his unconscious time before his leg falls off. Beep is bleeding out, but he'll be fine. We might lose Shrike, or at least 2 of her limbs. We might lose Shrike and 2 of her limbs. Burn does have repair kits on him, but he's playing dead, and for some reason he's not healing himself up. Not really sure why that is, but I'm not going to complain about it. You told him to shut me up. He's trying to silence me. Oh God, the conspiracies. The conspiracies. Shrike will die from blood loss if she loses any limbs. That's my concern. Is she's got such low blood that if she loses any of her limbs, she's gonna bleed out almost immediately. I'm hoping that Luke will be able to pick himself up. Beep is in terrible shape. He's going to die if we don't heal him up. But where is he? He is... Hey, thank you for the gifted memberships, you absolute unit. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Absolutely goated behavior. Goated behavior. Okay, so Beep is actively bleeding out, and we're running out of time to save him. Wing Wang, are you up? Wing Wang is up, but he's... Is he healing himself? No? Alright, Wing Wang, I need you to try and heal Beep. Does he have a med kit? He doesn't even have a med kit. Buffoonery. That's what that is. Buffoonery. Ah, Wing Wang, no! His legs are in such bad shape, too, that he's not going to be able to get out of there in time. You know who can get out of here, though? Crumble John, I need you to do your thing. No, everybody needs to get out of here. Everybody needs to get out of here. Run as fast as you can. Flee. Flee. We see y'all. They do see y'all. That's true. They're there. They're there. All right, everybody flee. Get as many people out of here as we can. Hold the line. Hold the line. Get everybody out of here. And then who's the fastest amongst you? Morgan is. So we're gonna send her in. Not follow. We're gonna send her in to go pick up Beep because he is actively bleeding out, and if we don't save him now, he's gone. It's over. Time for Wing Wang's domain expansion. It's true. It's true. Don't get out of your way. I just want to stop by and say hi. Well, I appreciate you stopping in. Sincerely. Much appreciated. I appreciate it as always. Oh my god. The things that you guys are saying. Stop it! You're embarrassing me. Stop it. Okay, so we can heal up Beep. Okay, all right. Beep is not gonna die. Beep is not gonna die. Luke might lose a leg. Whereas he dropped at the gate. Shrike is... Oh, yeah. I mean, we're in bad shape here. All right, let's see who we can get out. Who is down here? Arthur's down. Luke is down. Luke is real close to losing that leg. I think we need your champagne voice for the next video. Oh, God, they were around for champagne. I had no idea. Listen, when you get started in Kenshi, the first thing you need to do is you need to go out and you need to find yourself some people to pick up and join your squad. It's all about squads these days. Nothing but squads. All right, Morgan is our fastest character right now. Downside is that she is one bad hit from getting knocked down. She's the only one that we have that's going to be able to pick up characters. We need to pick up Luke specifically. All right, we've got him. We've got him. Head back down here. Drop him off. Stunning. Shrike is next. Head back over here. Drop him off. Heal him up. Stunning, stunning. The next video is just going to be me doing the champagne voice the entire time. Dude, I will shred my throat doing that. I did several years ago, I did a D&D campaign, and I decided I was going to play as an old woman named Clarice. Like, that was the bit. And I did that for like 3 consecutive sessions. It was supposed to be a one-shot, but it lasted for a little longer than intended. And I shredded my throat doing it, but it was so funny. So funny. All right, and head down here. No. We all need to hold position, including you, Burn. Stop trying to run up there and be a hero. Put him down. Helix, same deal. Pick him up. Bring him down here. Hand over my food, bro. This is not the time. This is not the time. Stop it, you. Hand over your food. What are you talking about? This is not the time. All right, well, how are we doing on terms of health? So Burns healing himself up. He's looking good. Oh, we need to heal Wing Wang. He's like moments from death. He is literal moments from death. Where is Wing Wang? Unconscious right there. We'll have Ruka. Do you have a health kit? You do. Go help Wing Wang. Don't let him die. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, so we may survive this. I've been on stream for 57 minutes, and we've already had a near-death experience tonight. I thought last night's was bad when we almost got eaten by Fogman, but no, here we are. Here we are. Hero's champagne voice is going to be used as the voice of the Hivers. Oh my god. Oh my god. Every Hiver sounds like they've been smoking since 1972. Excellent microing here. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Much appreciated. Oh no, we have a bot in the chat. I didn't realize that. Hold on, we got a bot in the Twitch chat. I gotta remove them. Damn bots. Goodbye, bot. There we go. There we go. Give me my Newports, beep. Do it. I like my menthols. I like that Lo-Fi decided to drop in, not when I'm doing my Trump voice, not when I'm doing my Obama voice, not when I'm doing my Chuckles the Clown voice. It's when I'm doing fucking champagne. It's when I'm doing champagne. Oh man, you should get stream elements for Twitch. Auto ban the bots. I do. I mean, I have Streamlabs. I had Stream Elements originally, but I switched it out for Streamlabs because it's just more convenient. Now you have to do all of them. You put me on the spot. All right. We'll start with the Trump because that's what everybody always makes me do on stream. I've done this like 100 times on stream because everyone makes me do it. My wife hates it. We're gonna build a wall, okay? We're gonna build the greatest wall. It's gonna be the best wall you've ever seen. Okay, we're gonna build a wall and we're gonna keep the Hivers out of Holy Nation territory. It's gonna be the greatest wall that you've ever seen. Probably the best wall that there has ever been. Because they're coming for us. The Hivers, they're coming for us. They've been going pee-pee in our coke for years. And, you know, we gotta protect ourselves from the Hiver virus. Protect American infrastructure. And then we got the Obama one, which is, my fellow Okronites. Welcome to Blister Hill. Now, there's been some rumors that we've made an attack on the Shek Kingdom. But I want you to know that these rumors are true. At 0500, we killed Assad the Salami. We did it. And we got his ass. We did it. The number of times people have made me do Trump voice on stream drives my wife up the wall, by the way. She literally hates it. We're gonna make the Holy Nation great again. She hates it. It's like her least favorite thing. And then we got Chuckles the Clown, which is one that I only did on stream recently one time. For anyone who's familiar, it's a D&D campaign, and I'm always terrible at pronouncing the name. So if somebody wants to say it in chat, that'd be great. Because I'm always terrible at pronouncing their name. Starts with an A. Terrible at it. So I can do the Chuckles one. I can do the Chuckles one. I love Chuckles. Yeah. Yeah, Avantris. Yeah, I always messed it. I always messed up the saying of it. I gotta think of a good line from Chuckles. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to commit heinous war crimes. All right, so I'm going to commit Geneva Convention, more like Geneva Suggestion. You've heard of mustard gas? You've heard of mustard? How about mustard gas? Come on, my child soldiers. I'm going to commit various war crimes. I'll be wanted in every country. Yeah. Oh, Gideon. I have two personalities. Either I am the great. I'm hold on. I have two personalities. I'm either the funniest clown you've ever met, or a total freaking psychopath. You scream, I scream, we all scream. Come on, my child soldiers. Oh God, the things I do for popularity. Absolute cinema. Thank you, bravo, thank you. These Kenshi 2 voice lines are going to be cursed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it's going to be disastrous. I have made grave error in not packing camp beds. I've made grievous error. I've made grievous mistakes here. Logic would be very disappointed in me. The inspiration is the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland and more. It's true. It's true. I'm just dying. Are you not entertained? Stars are wrong tonight. I've been counting them for 300 years. Who said that? Oh, Burn said that. Nice, nice. Oh, God, dude, I love Sentient Saints. It's such a good mod. The level, the dialogue is just so good, especially if you like flesh out their personalities. Hey, evil with the 10, you absolute beast. Mustard? How about mustard gas? It's true. It's true. It's true. I have an immaculate Mr. Mackey from South.
Okay, listen. Okay, we gotta make sure that we're going in after these holy nations. Okay, okay, can't be doing that. Okay, okay, can't be doing that. They're gonna be coming at you. Okay, you gotta be ready for that. Okay.
Okay, how are we doing on healing up? Where's Beep at? Beep is real messed up. I think, is there a way station nearby? There should be. Yeah, there's one right down here. I think we can pick him up and get down there and heal up.
Blood room is bad. Okay, it's real bad. Okay, we can't be doing blood room. Okay.
All right, Helix. We got to pick him up just because he's downed. We'll have Burn do that one. We'll have Burn do that one. Any more lore lessons? I mean, if anybody has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. However, despite I've said this many times, but I feel obligated, given the circumstances, to clarify just in case. Be aware that all of the lore that I say is speculative. It is speculative, guys. Speculative. I actually had to have this conversation on Reddit earlier today. Fun fact. It's like watching a Mark Hamill podcast. I know I've said this a couple times tonight too, but like my wife hates that I do so many impressions because I do them frequently and people ask me to do them. And I feel like she gets embarrassed when I do it, so I do it frequently. Because you know what better reason is there than to embarrass your wife, right? Hey, thank you, Singularity, for the follow. Much appreciated. Go to behavior. Welcome to the lads. Welcome to the lads. Much appreciated. Give us the broadside lore of with all this canon. Lore question: is there any actual in-game reason for the criminalization of drugs in Kenshi? I guess it depends on where you go. I guess. Whoa, what does that sound? I don't know what that is. Oh, Anna gifting subs, you absolute beast. Much appreciated for gifting the subs, Anna. Go to behavior. Go to behavior, guys. Can we please move? What's happening? There we go. Okay. So, is there any actual in-game reason for the criminalization of certain drugs? I imagine based on what I've seen in the United States, it's largely commodity based, right? Like the criminalization of drugs is to increase the pricing of it because we all know that the nobles deal in things like hashish and blood rum and all those things that are technically illegal. I imagine it's commodities. It's to like make it rare and to commoditize it. Also, it's an easy way to crack down on people, especially since the United States runs primarily on slave labor. You know, if they had hashish running rampant throughout their cities, their slave labor division would be far less effective. Their peasant class would be far less effective because, you know, they'd all be stoned half the time. So, like, it's criminalizing it makes it so that way the lower classes have to remain sober and effective. And also the upper echelon can spend more money on it, which inherently gets funneled back to the Traders Guild. You know, because they're going to do bidding wars on it, and the Traders Guild are likely, you know, handling all of this stuff. So, I would say partially to commodity, make it a commodity, but also to um, ensure that the peasant class doesn't have access to anything they can use to decrease their productivity. And then in terms of the Shek Kingdom, like the Shek aren't going to want it because it's like that's what would they need it for? They're a warrior culture. They don't want it. Holy Nation, I feel like that one's obvious as well. Any kind of hallucinogens or anything like that would be against Holy Nation doctrine. And then the tech hunters don't care because the tech hunters are an independent collective of individuals that kind of just do their own thing. They're like contract workers basically. What is it? What about science questions? Copper doesn't seem to oxidize like it does here on Earth. Yeah. I mean, the copper should realistically turn blue. It should have a bluish hue, and yet we don't really see evidence of like blue metals and stuff. So that would make sense. What was that sound? 2 more subs, Anna. Much appreciated. You absolute beast. Thank you so much. My God, much appreciated. Yeah, it doesn't seem to oxidize like it does on Earth, which is interesting. There isn't really that bluish hue to it. In fact, most of the metal on Kenshi seems to oxidize similarly to iron. It's being, Kenshi has a high presence of iron. Iron is like one of the larger metals that are present on Kenshi. It's the reason that the gut is the gut and Cannibal Plains are blue. It's the reason that the area out around the Cannibal Plains has kind of a reddish hue. It's the reason that the vein is red. Fun fact. A lot of it has to do with iron, moving down, moving south, moving southward, or moving throughout the territories and the regions in the soil, and then in areas where the ground is rich in iron but also has a lot of water, it turns blue because of glaying. Something else that I find really interesting is the purple sands, right? All the purple sands and the reddish sands that are in Kenshi, like in purple sands, like in Berserker country, like the Leviathan coast, like in Iraq, all those things. These are like sand that is purple and red like that is actually an indicator of glacial movement, like glacial pockets, and more importantly, more than anything, high presence of garnet. Right, they're garnet sands that are usually found in glacial deposits that get broken off and then get moved by the current or by the tide, by the sea, or the oceans on land, and so that kind of suggests the idea that there might be large deposits of garnet out in other areas in the oceans of Kenshi, and glacial deposits or on the seafloor that are being moved by the currents, and that are washing up. But like areas like Purple Sands and Leviathan Coast, it all suggests a high concentration of garnet being moved inward from the coastline, which means there could be some very interesting. Oh, I see we're losing some frames right now. What is happening? Hold on. We're getting a little lag on. It does that. Yeah, we've got a little bit of lag here. Interesting. I wonder why that is. Is it reflected in the stream quality, or am I glitching in there? I don't think so. Double check. YouTube's not receiving enough. Yeah. Experience buffering. Okay, there we go. Seems to have fixed. All right, there was a brief moment where I had a little bit of a connection issue, which is weird. Very odd. Okay, well, we're back. We're still back. Not too bad on Twitch. Yeah, it was specifically YouTube. It was a little bit of buffering. Sometimes that happens. A little bit of packet loss. No big deal. Thankfully, it wasn't frame rate. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It suggests that there's a high concentration of garnet out in the oceans. They're being moved inward. There is actually examples of real-life beaches that do the same thing. In Massachusetts, there's 2 in Massachusetts, 2 that I know of in California, that have purple sand beaches and stuff like that. And it's the byproduct of glacial movements and garnet deposits being washed ashore, grinded down and washed ashore. Lore question: do you think the hybers were found and modified or made from scratch? It's my opinion that they were made from humans during the tail end of the Second Empire, and that they were made at the behest of Catlan, not by Catlan, but at the behest of Catlan, to deal with all of the issues that his empire was facing. mass famine, mass exodus, rebellion, population decline, revolts, all of that stuff, all the issues that he would have been facing at the end of his empire, the Hybers are perfectly suited for. They showed up at the exact amount of time. Environmental factors are suited for a lot of those too. Easily replaceable, easily controllable. And they also seemingly have a lot of comparative similarities to existing skeleton models that kind of suggest that they were made by skeletons in the model of skeletons as a way to kind of improve humanity. And that would also explain why the Black Desert City, the skeletons that are there, that have been there since the end of the Second Empire, see them as human. And they make comments about, humans not having feet. Kind of suggests that maybe they used to be human. And it's been my long-running theory on that for a while now, where they attempt to fix humanity's pesky issues like free will or individualism. Yes, but maybe not to that degree. My thought is that, so Catlan was viewed as a hero, right? Like the whole thing about him was that he was viewed as a hero by both skeletons and humans. It's like the whole point of his character is that he was viewed as a hero. And as things started to go downhill, he still thinks of himself as the hero. To this day, he doesn't understand how things went so far south. That's why, like, when you see him, he has that large speech where he's like, have you tried looking after humans? I wasn't the monster. Their propensity for evil grows and they don't even realize that they do it. Like, they're destructive. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand how he went from being viewed as this hero, this deific figure that had, effectively helped them and protected them from, after the Age of Chaos and rebuilt humanity from collapse, how he went from being this deific figure to what he is now, being, a tyrant. He's incapable of understanding it and his insanity. And towards the end of his empire, he would have been desperately clawing at his power, desperately clawing to hang on to his empire, hang on to the people that he had tried to save, to become the hero again, because that's what he wants to be. He wants to be the hero, and he's always been the hero until recently, in the time anyway. And so when he's facing all these issues at the end of it, he's going to try and fix the problem the way that we believe he's done before with the creation of the Shek or the Enforcers, And so he's going to try and repeat that, but it's going to be a lot more aggressive this time around. And he's also realizing that he's become a bit disenchanted with humanity, right? Humanity, he's starting to view them as monsters. He's starting to view them as problematic, and he's starting to take on a lot of the traits that I theorize may have been the traits of the anti-human party during the Age of Chaos, the Civil War that I have a video that I talk about, how Catlan became Okran. And I talk about the possibility of the Age of Chaos being both a nuclear winter, an ice age, and a skeleton civil war to determine the fate of humanity, right? And I think towards the end, he had become disillusioned with humanity, disenchanted with humanity, but he also still wants to be the hero. And so the way that he deals with that is he has all these problems his empire facing. He wants to be the hero figure. He's disillusioned with humanity, though, and he's starting to view them as monsters. So let's make humans more like skeletons. And so, like, again, I've brought this up before. Let's look at the skeleton models, right? You have the normal Hybers, the worker drone version of Hybers, like Beep, right? They have the long, straight up and down head. They're the most plentiful. Well, then you have the generic version of the skeletons, like Burn. And they're... Hold on, let me put down Helix here, and you can see what I'm talking about. You have the generic version of the skeletons, like Burn, who had that long, straight up and down head. Their body structure between Hybers and between Hybers and skeletons is very similar, right? Have a very similar body structure. For the soldier bots, you have Hybers like Helix, who have a rectangular head from side to side. They're soldier based, less intelligent. And then for the soldier bots, for the skeletons, you have a rectangular head, just forwards and backwards, less intelligent, more driven, all that. And then the Hive Princes have a rounded head. They're a managerial class. Well, the managerial classes of skeletons are the P4 units, like Catlan, like Elder, and all of them. And they have the rounded head, and they act as a managerial class. And then in the concept art for Kenshi, and this one's a bit more of a looser connection, but it's one that I find really interesting. In the concept art for Kenshi, there is a skeleton model that I believe was supposed to be Catlan originally. And I'll pull it up here so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So I'm not just... Where is it? Where is it? Open image in new tab. There it is. All right, this is a really poor image, really low resolution. Let me find a better one. Let me find a better one. This boy right here. Yeah, okay, so you have this guy right here. Presumably, this was supposed to be Catlan's model. And something I find really interesting about that is that notice how it has the lion's mane, right? The prong sticking out of its head. And this is supposed to be Catlan, the king skeleton, right? The king, the emperor. Well, there's another race on Kenshi that is also a Hiver that is the leader class, the queen caste, right? That also has the same prongs sticking out of their head, as if almost like the Hivers were modeled after the skeletons, and they behave very similarly to skeletons too. They're easily controlled, presumably through some kind of a mainframe or a hive mind, just like the skeletons might have been during the First Empire. They're easily controlled. They're replicable. They have different classes, different like what is it? Not classes, like subspecies or different models in the skeleton's case for different activities. They are resistant to the environmental factors of Kenshi. They kind of Hivers are kind of organic skeletons. They were seemingly were made in the image of the skeletons. I find that super interesting. So that's my thought on that. I think the Hivers were made towards the end of the Second Empire to deal with the problems that Catlan's empire was facing, and they were created in the image of skeletons, but organically, like as organics. But I think they are heavily modified humans. That's my take on them. That's my take on them. So, okay, we need money, and we have none right now, and we need some because we need to get a bed or two. Let's see what we can sell. What can we sell? Let's sell a couple iron plates, just enough to get a bed or two. How much are the beds? 200 a piece. Jesus, highway robbery. Highway friggin' robbery. All right. All right, Arthur, you hop in there. Luke, you hop in there. We'll get 2 beds. We'll let them rest up, and then we'll go back and finish what we started. And then we'll finish what we started. If it's entirely locked to a planet, its revolution would equal rotation. So would it go entirely around the planet to have... so it would go entirely around the planet to have each day cycle we see. If that's the logic, then why can skeletons have made humans? They say they don't have the technology to make life, yet ignore that same line when it comes to the Hivers. So firstly, I don't think the skeletons made the Hivers. Let me clarify. I think that the skeletons ordered the creation of the Hivers. I think that the skeletons had somebody else do it, and I think the person they had do it was the Bugmaster. There's, like I said earlier in the stream, there's lines of dialogue that indicate that the Bugmaster is hundreds, plural, of years old. If you go into the FCS, there's a line of dialogue when you go into a rack that states specifically by a skeleton character, right? Like, again, not a mythologized version of it where you have some rando, Shet coming in that has this deific, personification of the Bugmaster. These are skeletons who have first-hand knowledge, first-hand accounts of, the history of Kenshi. They make a comment when you go into Iraq where they say this has been where the Bugmaster has dwelled for hundreds, plural, of years. Like, the skeletons are openly acknowledging that the Bugmaster is hundreds of years old, so we already know that he exists outside the realms of normal humanity. And he also is the only character that we see on Kenshi that knows exactly where Catlan is. He knows exactly where he is, which means he knew where Catlan was after the fall of the Empire, or at the end of the Empire, when all the other skeletons had walked away. Because in the Unknown Old Book, it says that the skeleton who wrote it doesn't know where Catlan is. He says, we don't know where he is. He vanished, but he's not dead. Skeletons, like people like him, don't just die, right? They know that he's alive, but they don't know where. They don't know where he is. And the Bugmaster does. Which means the Bugmaster must have been around. He must have some kind of inside knowledge about where Catlan was after the Empire had fallen, where he went to, right? And I think that's super important because now we know, from the dialogue, we know that he's hundreds of years old, plural. We know that he knows where Catlan is at a time when nobody else on Kenshi does. Even the skeletons who were in the Second Empire don't seem to know where he was, but he knows exactly where he is. And he knows that he has an army there. and he's raising an army to go after him, which means he has some kind of a grudge against him. And the army that he's raising happens to be skin spiders who have a similar, very, very similar texture map to the hivers, right? They look very similar to the hivers. They're made of the same chitinous material. They have the same coloration of the Western hive, who was presumably the base for the hive, the way that the hives were designed to look. And we know that because the Southern Hive Queen is actually the same color as the Western hive, which means she was created with the intention of using agriculture as a as the biomass for the reproductive cycle of the hivers, and then she started using Dude Smoothie from King instead. That's why her offspring is a different color, different conversation. But so we know that the Bugmaster has a grudge against Catlon. He knows where he is. He's one of the only people who does know where he is, and he's been around for hundreds of years, plural. Those details are super important, which to me tells me what would be the greatest grudge that he would have against Catlon? Well, if he was forced to create this degenerated, overly modified, messed up looking race of bug people that have had such aggressive experimentation done on them that they've turned into what they are. They can't even reproduce without mechanical assistance. They have to have an incubator built in because they're just so far altered and changed, which, by the way, if you have species that are altered to that degree, that's very likely something that would end up happening. It would probably follow the same lines as like having hybrid species. If you breed a tiger and a lion, you get a liger, and the offspring is sterile. If you breed, a donkey and a mule, you get a henny, and it's usually sterile. Hybrid offsprings are sterile. If you genetically modify something so rapidly and aggressively, they might become sterile, and so they have an incubator unit that helps them reproduce, because they've been modified to the point where they can't reproduce naturally. Do you think the Bugmaster is trying to recreate the hivers to fight Catlon and the skin spiders are the failures? No, I think the skin spiders were the failures of the intensive experimentation that was done to try and create the hivers initially, and now he's raising an army of skin spiders to lead against Catlon as a way to both get penance for the crimes he committed and also get justice for the victims that he created in form of the skin spiders. The skin spiders were the failed tests, the failed experiments to create the hivers. And now he's raising an army of them as a way to get justice for them. That would be that's what my going theory is. Hey, thank you for the follow, by the way. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. So that's my running theory on that. That's my running theory on that. All right, how are we doing in terms of healing? Slow. Pity the Bugmaster never says anything. He's such an interesting character. But it makes sense that he doesn't say anything, too. That's the other thing. It makes sense that the Bugmaster doesn't say anything. Because in order for him to... there's been a lot of research that's been done in real life about what would happen if... I'll get to the question, Damnation, in a minute about the Shek. There's been a bit of research that's been done by several institutes regarding how the human brain would respond to no longer aging, right? Because I've theorized that the Bugmaster, someone who's capable of creating genetic abnormalities and like the Shek, like the hivers, that are able to manipulate genes in that way. Stopping your own aging process would be child's play, right? All you need to do is isolate the gene, isolate the enzyme or the gene in crabs that prevent the degradation of telomeres on the end of your DNA strands, and you'd effectively give yourself infinite cellular regeneration because your cells wouldn't break down. You halt the aging process, right? It's a real thing, happens in real life. Crabs don't age. Probably got it from the crabs. There's crabs on Kenshi. I mean, it makes sense, right? So somebody that's capable of creating the Shek, somebody that's capable of creating the hivers, stopping your aging would be child's play, but there's real research that's been done on what would happen if you were to stop aging. And after 300 or 400 years, your mental faculties would start to rapidly decline because your brain would break down. You can't hold that much information. 300-400 years is the cap, and it's theorized that your brain would start to break down. You'd start to lose cognitive function. You'd start to lose your ability to communicate effectively. And you'd effectively start to regress and break down. The Bugmaster probably didn't know that if this is what he did. Probably didn't know that when he did it. Now he's degraded. He's broken down. He's fallen apart. He's turned into a shell of himself. At this point in time, the Bugmaster is effectively an animal. He is operating on a singular, mind-numbing purpose. It is the only purpose that he has, which is kill Catlon. And I think at this point, he doesn't even actually understand why. He doesn't fully understand why. I think that he's just operating on an animalistic need to kill Catlan. And he's almost long since forgotten why. He just knows that he's doing it. Build an army, kill Catlan. Build an army, kill Catlan. That's my thought process. And that's why he doesn't talk, because he's basically an animal at this point. He's broken down. He's gone nuts. That's also why I think the Hive Queens screech and yell instead of talking, because I think that they're also, you know, I think they were the test subjects for, you know, when I think that when he created the Hive Queens, he made them ageless and then implemented the same thing on himself afterwards. Crab people. Touche. Touche. He's right, you know. All of our guys healed up nice and good, nice and good. And we're going to go back and we're going to try this again. We're going to give this Meito weapon to somebody else, though, because I don't think that it is... I don't think that's the type of weapon that Arthur would use. I don't think it is. Ruka's got a katana. Morgan's a polearm. Shrike is a polearm. Crumblejohn's heavy. Beep's got that. Maybe we'll give it to Wing Wang. Excuse me. Yeah, maybe we'll give it to Wing Wang. He's got a crap weapon. He needs something a little bit better. Give it to Wing Wang. And we're also going to... Where's the barkeep? Is that the barkeep? That is the barkeep, isn't he? So why the Shek have a beef with the Bugmaster? Okay, so after the Second Empire falls, this is my running theory on that particular topic. After the Second Empire falls, the Shek, or the Enforcers, they become tribalists. They function a lot like the Berserkers do now, right? They have that same tribal mentality. And the Bugmaster has a grudge against Catlan, but he needs to get stronger. And who is better to fight? You know, the various city-states and governments that are existing around Kenshi, because remember, the Second Empire didn't fall apart in a revolt, didn't break down. All the cities started to secede. They became individuals. They seceded and declared, you know, individuality from the empire. They became independent city-states that would later end up reconvening into what is now the United Cities, but they became independent city-states. There was a lot of secessions from the government. And so you can either train in civilization, where some of those people might know who you were, or idea, you go off into the wilderness, into the wasteland, and you fight and train yourself against the you know, smaller tribes of enforcers. And you're immortal in terms of your age. You don't age. So over generations, the Bugmaster was fighting Shek. He was fighting enforcers in the Sten Desert or wherever they were. He was fighting enforcers to train himself. Before he started raising an army, he had to train himself. And so he ended up becoming a mythological figure to the Shek. He doesn't have a beef with the Shek. I think he was using him as a training dummy, effectively. He became a mythological figure because over generations, he was training himself on the Shek. And over several generations, the Shek viewed him as an insurmountable challenge that has continuously, like, they fought against for generations. Right? They've been fighting this guy for generations. He shows up and wipes out whole tribes. He shows up and kills whole tribes. He's an incredibly strong warrior. He's the pinnacle of what they want to be. He is an absolute pinnacle of what they want to be. They want to fight strong warriors. They don't view the Bugmaster as a great enemy. They view him as the ultimate challenge because for generations, no Shek has been able to beat him. And I think that reputation was born from the fact that he became so strong himself by fighting Shek tribes early on. He trained himself against the Enforcers, and he ended up becoming a mythological figure to them, a legendary figure to them, the ultimate challenge, the Mount Everest of Shek's warrior ethos. That's what I think. The lore runs deep, and Heroes takes are so well thought out and expressed. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm glad you like him. Glad you like him. Remember, though, it's just a theory. A game theory. A Dave theory. Because my name is Dave. Alright, we need to get Luke up here. How are you feeling about Sentient Saints? I love it. It's great. It's great. Adds so much nice interaction to the game. So much good interaction to the game. Love it. Bugmaster, original crab owner, proved me wrong. Can't be done. Can't be done. Can't be done. Zombies are starting to pop in here more and more. Noticing more and more zombies coming into this way station. You got crabs from the Bugmaster? Hey, it's true. It's true. It's true. What's Sentient Sands? Sentient Sands is an AI injector that allows you to actually speak with the NPCs. So, for instance, in this particular run, Luke and Morrigan are actually the children of Arthur, and their dialogue will like reflects that. They argue, they bicker, they have personalities, they remember things that you say. Rumors can generate. You can recruit people with it. You can kick people out of your party with it. You can barter with it. You can do all of it. Aren't crabs technically insects? No, I don't believe so. I think they're arthropods. Wait, is your name really Dave? Yeah, my name's Dave. They're crustaceans. I think they're related to arthropods. I don't know. Let's Google it. Let's Google it. Classification of crabs. I want to say they're either arthropods or related to arthropods. They are decapod crustaceans belonging to the infraorder Brachyura. Yeah, they're crustaceans. The taxonomy for them is... Yeah, they're arthropods. Okay, yeah, they're Animalia, Arthropoda, Crustacea. Yeah. Crustaceans are arthropods. Yes, you're right. Listen, I get my kingdom, phylum, all that stuff confused in order sometimes, all right? King Phil came over for good soup. I got you. We're there. Insects and crustaceans are both arthropods. That makes sense. That makes sense, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure just because they have the same phylum doesn't mean that they're the same thing. I don't think that's right. They just have the same phylum. That'd be like saying that like we are insects because we're all part of like Animalia. Like that's you know, the higher up on the higher up you get, you get more broad. So that doesn't work. It doesn't work. What is the myth surrounding Mongrel? I have a couple of ideas on what the myths could be. My first time catching one of your streams. Well, welcome. We're happy to have you here. We are happy to have you here. Crumble John, we get Crumble John up here. Yeah, get him help. We're 10% human DNA, 90% bacteria and fungi. That's true. That's true. We actually share like a disturbing amount of DNA with like bananas too. Disturbing amount, like 90-something%. It's crazy. It's true. It's true. It's all Fogman gas. It's true. No, I have a couple thoughts on the fog. I think either it's something from obedience, which would make sense because of where it seems to start and funnel down, right? Like it's something from obedience. But also you'll notice that when you take out one of the hives, like Western Hive or Southern Hive, the fog starts to roll in a little bit. My thought is that the Fogmen are the byproduct of a pheromone that is released by the queen when the queen is in imminent danger or dies, similar to ants, right? If you pick up certain species of ants, if you pick up their queen and the queen is in danger, she'll let out like a death knell, right? Like a rattle, a screech, and it will cause all of the other ants to go literally insane, aggressive as hell, right? They'll start attacking everything. They'll go nuts. And it's the byproduct of a pheromone. Now, you'll notice that Fogmen can actually appear in a hive, in the Western Hive or the Southern Hive, when the queen is either killed or kidnapped. Or kidnapped. And the or kidnapped part is super important because if she's still alive, she should still be putting out pheromones. And we know that distance isn't the only thing that is a factor in whether or not you're connected to the hive, because the Western Hive queen is way over here, and the Western Hive has a village way over here. So we know that distance is not the only thing of that is taken into account with the pheromones and the queen and everything, you know? So my thought is that when the queen is removed, or when the queen's in danger or dead, she releases, without her being able to control it, right? Against her will, she releases a pheromone as a byproduct of her being stressed out from being in danger or dead. Her body releases a pheromone that causes the hivers in her hive to go insane and go nuts. And I think that the The fog that shows up is the physical manifestation of that pheromone. And I think that it's so present in the Fog Islands because it's been so long, right? This is the physical manifestation of that pheromone. That's what I think. That's what I think. So, but I think that would explain why Fogmen don't show up anywhere else in the map unless the queen is either taken or dead. So then you think the Fogmen and the Fog Islands are the remnants of a dead hive from a long dead queen, and they somehow keep reproducing by eating people. So I have two theories on the endless number of Fogmen. I think that the Fogmen are either using the incubator on a dead queen, and so they're genetically damaged. Or an alternative theory, the queen is alive, but once that pheromone is released, it can't be turned off. And that would also explain why when you take her out of the hive, you know, they all go nuts and go, but if you put her back, it doesn't fix it, right? Like, it's not like it fixes it. I think that once the queen releases that pheromone that causes them to become Fogmen, that causes them to go insane, it's donezo. So she could very well be alive somewhere. And I think that if she is alive, she's underground. I think she's underground. And, you know, we can't go underground in Kenshi because of engine limitations. I think she's underground if she is alive. It would explain why they're able to reproduce, but also it would explain why she's not you know, viewable. Why you can't find her. I think she's underground. Was the Great Desert a desert during the First Empire? No. No, presumably it was a jungle. The assumption is that it was a jungle. The Great Desert was assumably a jungle, and it went through desertification, you know, as jungles typically do. Look at the Sahara Desert being a good example. It used to be a jungle. Look at the swamp. The swamp is currently a jungle, and Shem is actually the swamp. The Shem used to look like the swamp, and it is becoming a desert. It's going through desertification faster because of the close proximity to Venge with the great lasers. So the heat output from the eye satellite in Venge is causing this section of the swamp to become a desert faster than the rest. Eventually, if things continue how they are, my nose is so itchy. If things continue how they are, eventually all of the swamp will probably look like Shem, and then eventually will look like the Great Desert. And also, presumably, the Great Desert will eventually one day become a jungle again, because that's how it happens. It's a natural phase of life. It happens in real life too. But I'm of the belief that the Great Desert was a jungle. The Great Desert was a jungle. I've noticed a lot of manhunters and noble guards are drone soldiers. Does the queen also use soldiers to make drones obedient, which is why they have Stockholm Syndrome when they leave the hive? Not quite. The drone soldiers just... So after a hiver leaves the hive, they seek purpose. They want purpose. They seek it. They need it. And a lot of hivers actually end up crumbling under the weight of that desire for purpose, and end up, you know, committing Sudoku as a result of it. And a lot of them are also easily controllable and taken advantage of. That's why there's such a high influx of hiver drones, like worker drones, as the peasant class in the United Cities, because they're looking for something that gives them purpose. And what is going to give them more purpose than the thing that they're used to, right? The hiver worker drones, when they were in the hive, they were farmers, they were workers, they were doing, you know, menial labor. And so when they go out into the world and they become separate, they look for purpose, and so they find purpose doing the only thing they've ever done, which is doing what they do. So when soldier drones become free, they look for jobs as guards. They look for jobs as manhunters. They look for jobs that are going to put them in a soldier position, because that's what they used to do. They're just trying to feel like they have a sense of purpose, a sense of reasoning, a sense of belonging. Do you think the hivers were a unified culture originally, or the three hives were specifically made under different conditions for experimentation? I think that they were not a unified culture. I think that there was I think there was 3 queens that we know of that were made, but I think that they all ended up taking different paths for how they you know, reproduce, and their societies were created. So the Western hive, I think, was what the intention was. You know, use agriculture, use you know, wheat straw, use green fruit, use all of that stuff to as the bioorganic material to supply the, you know, reproduction process, right? The queen acts as a stable genetic template. The hivers, eat the agricultural byproducts. They spit it out into a slurry, the same slurry they use to make their buildings. The queen eats it and uses that as a source of physical biomass to create new hivers in her incubator. She stabilizes it with her body, her body acting as a genetic template, and out pops new hivers. And the southern hive queen is yellow, like the western hive queen, so it's presumed that the intention was that she was supposed to do it the same way, right? And if you look at when they would have showed up, end of the Second Empire, there was a lot of famine happening, a lot of rotten food, a lot of tainted crops because of the nuclear explosion that happened in the grid, where it was, the center of agriculture, one of their agricultural centers, as well as the tainted crops to the north that caused the cannibals as a byproduct of heavy metal poisoning from the floodlands, tainting the ground. That's why we have glaying up there. So we need a race that can eat tainted crops, and also that can reproduce using those tainted crops. So the intention was that they can eat any crop and reproduce. But the southern hive queen, for whatever reason, is separated from the hive queen, right? She's got her own hive mind, her own pheromones. She finds King, and King starts, taking people and chewing them up and turning them into dude smoothie, because he was a maintenance bot, right? He was meant for recycling, so he's basically just a giant trash compactor. So he starts chewing people up and spitting them out into dude smoothie, and she eats that slurry instead, and that's why her hivers come out as purple, because they're from a different source of organic material. They're a different color to match the material that's being used to create them. Speaking of the Fog Islands, any recommended areas to set up a base except for the plateau? Yeah, my favorite area to set up that I've done here is right here. Right in this area here. The exiled hivers still have a link to the queen. Slightly, but that link fades over time. And as it fades, they become more individual, but also become more depressed on average. All right, let's finish healing up so we can go back and fight the Dust King. Okay. To clarify, Seppuku was a ritual suicide, Sudoku was a mathematics game. I said it on purpose. YouTube doesn't like when you use the other words. It's an algorithm thing. Plus, I find Sudoku funnier. I'm well aware. I do it on purpose. It's a deliberate choice of words because YouTube's automatic algorithm there doesn't really like certain words. So, just to be careful. That's all. I mean, I mutter them out sometimes, but if I was talking about the matter in a more serious way, I would use the actual word, because at that point, I don't want to disrespect the situation. But in circumstances where I'm talking about like Kenshi, I'll use the funny word. And again, it just makes me it's funnier to me. Plus, then I can say funny things like committing crossword, and it's like a multi-layered joke, and it makes me laugh. You gotta commit crossword. Do you stay hydrated, Hero? Yeah, I drink water pretty consistently. I try to stay hydrated because I run a lot. And I have, what is it? Liquid IVs. I drink like 1 to 2 liquid IVs a day. And I usually drink about a gallon. I try to aim for a gallon of water a day. That's the go-to run. Dude, why is my fucking nose so itchy right now? Jesus. Yeah, I aim for a gallon a day. I usually get to about 60 ounces, give or take, but I aim for a gallon a day. Lore question: if the Fog Queen is alive and underground, and that theory is right, do you think there's so much fog because she's alive and spitting it out? Yeah, I do. I think that if you were to take out the Western or the Southern Hive Queen, we see fog start to overtake their lands. And I think that it's a byproduct of the pheromones, but I think that she's been around for a long enough time that I think that she's been spitting out that pheromone for a long enough time that the fog her pheromones have started to manifest physically. All right, we're gonna go for the round 2 with the Dust King. Round 2 with the Dust King. We're gonna give this another go. Burn his armor back. I don't know how I feel about the hive colors being based on diet. Reminds me of my. Oh, you're funny. You're a funny guy, Bazinga. You're a funny guy. The more Kenshi lore you talk, the itchier your nose gets. You know what it is? It's probably a stress thing. It's probably a stress thing. I get more like anxious, and like my blood pressure goes up, and I get more like splotchy too. Right? It's an intensity thing. Did you kill off the bread weebs yet? No, not yet. No, not yet. All right, we're gonna come up here and we're gonna hold. We're gonna hold. We're gonna try this shit again. Beat him up. Yeah, take him down. You know, fuck you. We don't have to take him down. Let's get out of here. we did our part. We're gone now. Flee. Flee. The answer is to flee. All right, we're gonna turn him into the shack. There we go. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got his ass. My fellow audience, listen. At $500, we got his ass. We're here to take out the illustrious terrorist, something salami, and we got his ass. Stress, you say? Any comments on how you're both not, how you are not both employed at Lo-Fi and also don't have them in your pocket? Same time when you coincidentally after your stream they post a video after your age. That's funny. Stop it, Pork. Although I will say the level of coincidentally convenient that that Lo-Fi decided to hop into the chat right as everyone kept making jokes about me working there is really funny. But I have to clarify that that I do not work for Lo-Fi, as I've said 100 times, guys. But it is really funny that as soon as those comments started, Lo-Fi hops in the chat. That's so funny. That's so funny. Liar. We'll discuss this around the water cooler tomorrow. Stop it. Stop it. What are you doing? No, you're going to get him going. Oh, my God. No, oh, my God. Stop it. Someone's going to clip it. Do you know what you've done? Do you know what you've done? Oh no. Look at what you've started. The whole chat's going off. They're always watching. Oh my God. Cat's out of the bag. No, Cat's still locked up in the tower. I didn't go save him. I didn't save him. I didn't save him. I took the Dust King and ran. I didn't save him. Very peculiar. I don't care if it's a tick next to your name. It's real to me, damn it. Oh, man. Look what you've done. Catlon's out of the bag, homie. Oh, no. All right, let's go turn the Dust King in. Get some money. And over the bounty. 1750. Wait, why was he worth so much more? Oh, he's dead. That's why he died. He wasn't worth more. He was worth less. I'm a jackass. He died. Probably should have healed him. Big shame. Big shame. Big shame. Okay. Well, what are you going to do? Fan base, it's almost as dedicated as Queso's for the sheer exposure for your Lo-Fi employment status. I mean, literally. My lord. My lord. All right, let's head up into the armor smith. Yeah, we should get some armor. How are we looking on food, actually? What's our food situation? 8 ration packs. No ration packs on Burn. We have 8. We have enough to at least do something. We got to continue to train up because we've got the zombies. They haven't been much of an issue now, but pretty soon they're gonna be here. I'm just seeing them. I actually watched Heroes Lore videos before I joined the team. That's true. We did have that conversation. Yes, this is the grand community manager of Lo-Fi. The grand community manager. Episode 100 of Hero lying to his chat about working for Lo-Fi. I don't know how many streams I've done. How many streams have I done? I wonder what the total count on that is at this point. I've done 4 series. Hold on, 27, 17, 17. We're probably approaching 100. We're probably approaching 100, if not already having gone past it. I know that I've done at least 80 streams. 80 or so streams, so we're probably getting real close. We're getting real close. All right, let's see what we've got in the way of equipment. We don't have any tops here, unfortunately. We're going to have to go to the United Cities in order to get proper gear, I think. They sell it here at the very least. There's a specific armor type that I'm looking for that I have from a mod that is going to be the thematic armor for this run. Not sure what grand came from. I prefer friendly. This is our, I don't know. I was looking for an adjective of some kind. This is our friendly neighborhood community manager. He's goated. He's goated. You're doing a great job, my guy. You're doing a great job. And I know many other people, have thoroughly enjoyed the influx of content and the variation of content that's been coming out of Lo-Fi since you took over. We've all been enjoying it. Samurai boots for you. This is shady chainmail, right? Yeah, we got to get him better chainmail. Appreciate more to come. I'm glad. I'm glad. We're all glad. We're all glad. We're all glad. Yeah, we need to improve this. Drifter's short jacket. We got to get him something. Ronin's outfit wrap gray, black. Infinite wing wang strikes me as he's gonna wear black. We'll put him in that. Gotta get him better pants too, because whatever the hell that crap is not working for me. Drifter, other plates. Stunning. Kenshi do tomorrow confirmed. I don't know where that was confirmed. Okay, so that should take care of you. Helix, we got to get you a better chest armor, man. We can't have you walking around with this drivel. We'll put you in this temporarily. Good. Beep, we're gonna get rid of this crappy long coat. We're gonna give Beep a red one. I think that fits very well. It fits very well. Very well. Hey here, how you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm being interrogated by my chat. I'm being intensely interrogated by my chat. I'm doing good. So another day, another average day. Another average day. And I think this actually puts us in a pretty good spot. Well, we gotta change him out too, but Ruka, we'll give her these. How much do we have? We have 4,000. Oh shit. Do we have anything else we can sell? Anything I want to sell? No, not really. Fabric, we're gonna need those for beds. Iron plates. Give us sort now. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Speak for yourself. I'm not human. If you can call us humans. How long have you been working for Lo-Fi? Where you were just about to tell us? No, stop it. Oh my god. Oh my god. It never ends. It never ends. We're gently persuading Hero to give up the obvious long-term employment with Lo-Fi. Stop it! Oh, man. If Hero isn't a Lo-Fi worker, then Okra is a skeleton. Funny you say that, because I have an entire 20-minute video talking about how Okra is Catlon, who is a skeleton. I have a 20-minute video talking about it. Oh, man. No, I do. I have it. It's there. I promise it's there. I swear. All right, we are... Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to head over to the Avalon Isles. We're going to head over into United Cities territories. We'll probably grab a little bit more gear. And and then we'll go from there. I would love to go up into Holy Nation territory and grab some of the blueprints that I'm looking for, but I don't think I'm going to be able to since I am enemies with them outright. Okran is Catlon. I thought he was Stobe. No, I think that Stobe was Kytrin. My theory, running theory is that the Age of Chaos was a nuclear winter brought on by the fall of the First Empire, and Stobe was changed into Kytrin. And this is based on, I'm not going to go into like the full details on it because like you have to go through all of the books, the Holy Nation books and all of that stuff to like tear it apart. It's a whole thing. Basically though, Stobe is Kytrin. And in one of the Holy Nation books, it talks about how Kytrin was split into two entities, being Okran, God of Light, and Narco, Demoness of Darkness, and they went to war with each other. What I think happened was Stobe, his sacrifice to save humanity at the end of the First Empire created two splinter factions of skeletons, right? There was on one side the skeletons that had repented for what they did and wanted to earn, protect humanity and honor Stobe's wishes. They became the pro-human faction, and they became the basis for Okran, and Catlon was the leader of that faction. And then on the other side was an anti-human faction of skeletons that wanted to finish the job, finish what they had started at the end of the First Empire, this massive rebellion, right? The extermination of humanity. And that would explain why Stobe, right, or Kytrin, birthed two individual entities all born from the same place. Two groups of skeletons born from one sacrifice, the ideology that is Stobe's sacrifice, right? So Okran is the pro-human skeletons, and Narco was the anti-human skeletons. Catlon was the head of the pro-human skeletons, which would explain his hero status. It would explain why both humans and skeletons followed him and venerated him so severely during the Second Empire. And even now, they still look at him as a hero figure because he was. He, protected humanity against the anti-human faction. Oh, thank you, much appreciated, Anna, for the gift. You absolute unit, dude. You're killing it today with all these gifts, Anna. You're killing it. Thank you. You spoil me. You treat me so good. And so these two factions were born both from Stobe's sacrifice, just like Okran and Narco were both born from Kytrin, right? And then in the scripture, it also says that Okran and Narco went to war with each other while humanity was watching. Humanity was devolving after the end of the First Empire because they went from a megalithic society, hyper-advanced space-faring society, down to what they are now. And so during that time, humanity was watching the anti-humans and the pro-humans fight it out in this civil war. And at the end of it, Okran won. And it says that Okran beat Narco and absorbed her into his being. But the denizens of Narco would go on to survive. What that tells me is that the pro-human faction won, and the remaining skeletons either defected back to the pro-human side, back to Catlon's Second Empire, or they disappeared and went into hiding. Okran ended up, Catlon ended up becoming the embodiment of Okran to the humans, right? They viewed him as a deific figure, a hero, and eventually a god, right? He was an immortal being that's been around for generations, that protected humanity in, during the Civil War, during the Age of Chaos, that rebuilt humanity. They started to view him not just as a hero, but as a god. They started to worship him. But then you'll notice in the scriptures, it says that, not in the scriptures, in some of the old texts, it says that they were blinded by the false light, right? In the Unknown Old Book, they say that they were blinded by Catlon's false light. And that sort of rhetoric, that terminology, is really reminiscent to the Holy Nation texts, where they describe they describe Okran as the god of light. And if Catlon was the false light, but he became corrupted by Narco, and now so in a way, Catlon is the embodiment of both Okran and Narco. He was the original inspiration for Okran, and then as time went on, as the skeletons became more oppressive during the Second Empire, as Catlon became more paranoid, more tyrannical, and started to crack down on the cult more and more, the cult that had risen to deify him, they started to separate the skeleton aspects out of the religion over the last 1,000+ years. And so eventually Stobe became Kytrin. Eventually pro-human, anti-human became Okrin and Narco. Eventually Catlan was removed from the equation and became, as skeletons became the personification of evil, and skeletons became the embodiment of Narco because they started to hate them more and more. But I think that Catlan was the original inspiration for Okrin. Yeah, I think that Catlan was the original inspiration for Okrin, and I think that the Okrin and Narco were originally the pro-human and anti-human skeletons during the Skeleton Civil War. And that would explain why, because you'll notice that the skeletons, they don't just not want to talk about they don't just not want to talk about the First Empire, they don't want to talk about the Age of Chaos either. Right? And they don't want to talk about the First Empire because they tried to genocide humanity. Hero's hair died so he could have employment. It's true. I traded my hair for approximate knowledge of many things. It's true. It's true. I'm aerodynamic. I traded it for large amounts of the ability to be aerodynamic and have approximate knowledge of many things. No, but you'll notice that the skeletons, they don't want to talk about the First Empire because they almost genocided humanity, but they also don't want to talk about the Age of Chaos. Why? If it was just like a really like tumultuous time with like earthquakes and volcanoes and meteor showers and all that stuff, like you think that violence, you think they'd be more willing to talk about that. They'll talk about the Second Empire and all the shit they did during that. They're more than happy to talk about that. But the First Empire, they won't because they try to genocide humanity. Well, the only reason I could speculate they wouldn't want to talk about the Age of Chaos too is because the attempt to genocide humanity was still happening. They were fighting a war during that time, and it was a war against each other. And it also, the idea of a war happening in the Age of Chaos makes Catlan's story so much more heartbreaking and compelling. The first time I went to the Ashlands and I saw Catlan's speech, it came off as very like cartoony, because it's like, oh, here's these megalithic structures, this really big area, and it's this really unknown area, and we have all these generals and these heads of agriculture and the police and everything, and they have CPUs to talk about Catlan. And you find Catlan, and he's just a raving lunatic who acting like a child who swears he wasn't the villain. I'm not the villain. The humans are the monsters, right? Came off as very cartoony. Kind of seemed out of place. But when you look at it from the perspective of Catlan was a skeleton who fought a civil war against his own kind. He spent centuries protecting humanity at the cost of his own kind, killing his own brothers and sisters effectively in the name of protecting humanity. He became their hero. The skeletons deified him. The humans deified him. He created an empire to protect them. He was their hero. He was their god. He was everything to them. And he had earned that, right? He led them to victory. He had spent centuries fighting his own kind. He spent centuries refusing to reset, slowly falling into madness, all while trying to help humanity. He was their hero. And in his insanity, he cannot fathom in any capacity how the humans could have turned on him like that after everything that he did for them. After all of the sacrifices he's made, all of the skeletons he killed to protect them, all of the skeletons he enthralled to keep them loyal, after all of the steps he took to make them safe, to protect them from, completely being annihilated, he doesn't see how he was the villain. He wasn't the monster. He didn't do anything wrong. Humans did something wrong. And it comes down to his inability to understand what he did wrong in conjunction with humanity's very short memory. Catlan's been around the entire time. He knows the things he did. But to humanity, they forget the victories that he had. They forget the things that he had done, the ways that he had helped. They forget what made him a hero in the first place. And by the time he got to the end of the Second Empire, the generation of humans that were there had never known him as anything other than a tyrant. But Catlan can't understand that because he's a skeleton who's based in data. And so in his mind, he's done everything right and they still turned on him, and he doesn't understand why. And when you look at it from that perspective, when you look at it from that viewpoint, his speech at the end, when you find him, makes so much more sense. It becomes so much more compelling, so much more more well written. And he goes from a two-dimensional character, like crazy skeleton, to a truly heartbreaking character who, even though he is in the wrong, even though he did horrible things and committed horrible atrocities, you can't help but empathize and feel for him because, I mean, he was the hero. He did everything right in his eyes. He spent centuries doing the right thing, protecting people, saving humanity, keeping them from extinction. He killed his own kind to do it, and this is how they treated him? I mean, you got to feel a little bad for him, you know? You got to feel a little bad for him. So, yeah, I mean, I think that Catlan's story is one of the most heartbreaking when you look at it from that perspective. And that's why I really love the skeleton Civil War theory. It's easily my favorite theory that I've come up with. Like, if I had to pick any of my videos that I hope is canon, any of my theories that I hope are canon, that's the one. That's the one. If my Hiver theory proves wrong, if any of my other theories are proven wrong, you know, I'm cool with it. That's the one that I hope more than anything else is the Skeleton Civil War and the Age of Chaos being like a nuclear winter. That's the one. The best villains are always the almost heroes or once a hero. Yeah, he's a hero who fell from grace and doesn't understand how or why. He's incapable of understanding how or why. Catelyn just needs to reset, get rid of them emotions. I don't think resetting would fix him at this point. Truly, I don't think first, I don't think he would ever reset. But even if he did, resetting's just as bad. I mean, resetting's just as bad. I've talked about this at length in several videos, but resetting is just as bad. It's hell when you really look at how it functions. I don't think he reads the Twitch. I do. I'm sorry. There's just so many chats, so much chat going through. Tin Fist is still there, and he gave up. Tin Fist with his mission, and the mission of the Second Empire. So Tin Fist is still around, but Tin Fist has gone nuts. I think Tin Fist was also part of the pro-human faction. I think that, like, when it talks about how Tin Fist and Catelyn made a great team, I think it's talking about during the Civil War. I think that they were war buddies. Apologies. There's just a lot of chat happening, so I'm trying to get to everybody. Anyway, yeah, resetting for skeletons is hell. It's hell. You know, they don't lose their memories. That's a lie of convenience. I think that we've established that pretty well, that it's a lie of convenience. But they do lose their stats and they lose their emotions, and by losing their emotions, it purges out the data that's being processed all the time, right? Because we know their processors burn out. We know that their processors burn out, which means that their processors are the thing, and that's what causes them to go insane. So their processors are continuously processing emotion. And when you think about skeletons as being machines based in data, right? Not people. We tend to attribute too much humanity to the skeletons, and I think we need to not do that because they're not human. They're machines. And so when you look at them from the perspective of machines, they don't look at things with rose-colored glasses or nostalgia. They look at things like reading data, right? And so emotions get stored as data. And as time goes on, those emotions will build up, and there'll be more and more emotions in their system. And they're continuously being processed because they have no way to output them, and they're not deleting them because they're data. And so they're constantly being processed, and eventually the data becomes overwhelming, and their CPUs are trying to process what is equivalent of thousands of tabs open at the same time, and they get overheated and they burn out, and then they start to experience paranoia. They start to experience obsessive compulsive behavior. They become fixated on a singular emotion. In my experience, based on what I've seen with the other ones, it's usually about, like, the most prevalent emotion in their system at the time, or the most recent emotion. So for Catelyn, it was paranoia. For the Armor King, it was, hey, much appreciated for the other gift. Anna, goddamn, dude, you're taking such good care of me, Anna. Much appreciated. For the Armor King, it was being a merchant. For Elder, it's his hatred of humanity. For Tin Fist, it's his desire to kill slavers. For Catelyn, it was his paranoia. All of these skeletons are experiencing some level of obsessive compulsive behavior as a byproduct of their emotional instability and their CPUs being overloaded. And so you think the answer is just really simple, reset, and you get rid of those emotions, you're all good to go. The problem is the emotions are what make up who they are, right? The analogy that I've used, and I've said this in a couple of shorts, the analogy that I've always used is Doctor Who. In Doctor Who, at the end of the 10th Doctor's run, David Tennant, he has a conversation with a character named Wilfred Mott. And when he has this conversation with Wilfred, Wilfred says, oh, well, if you die, it's not a big deal. You just regenerate. And for those who are unfamiliar in Doctor Who, when the Doctor dies, he regenerates into a new person. And that's how they're able to, have the show running for 60 years with new actors. He regenerates effectively into a new person, but he has all the memories of the previous versions of himself. So Wilfred says to the Doctor, if you die, it's not a big deal. You just regenerate, right? You're there. And the Doctor responds to him when he says, but even if I regenerate, it feels like dying. Everything I am, everything that makes me who I am, dies. And some new man with my name goes sauntering off, but I'm dead. And for a skeleton, I imagine it feels exactly the same. When they reset, they lose their emotions. But for a creature that is created around data, that's storing data, right, that is entirely built around data, that doesn't have physical changes, that doesn't have, any of those things, your skills and your emotions make up your identity. Who is Catlon if he is not an effective leader? Who is Catlon if he is not a physically strong, capable warrior? Who is the Armor King if he's not a good smith, right? Who is Tin Fist without his martial arts? And aside from that, who is Catlon without his emotions, without his pride? Who is Catlon without his paranoia? Who is Catlon without his ability to inspire people? If you reset everything back to base, back to who they, to having no emotion, to having no skills, it is almost like dying and being reborn as an infant. Okay, is having nothing. You are nothing. You're a blank slate, a new person. And that's really scary because Catlon couldn't reset. If he reset, he'd lose the things that make him an effective leader, right? He'd be a different person. He'd be an entirely different person. So effectively speaking, skeletons are stuck in a perpetual state of entropy where they have to choose regularly between staying who they are and burning out and going insane and falling into madness, or resetting and effectively repeatedly taking their own life and becoming a new person. And that new person is probably scared too. It's probably a scary thing not knowing who you are. You have all the memories of somebody else, but you can't identify with them, right? It's like looking at your new self, who you are now versus who you were when you were 15, right? When I was 15, I would have responded to things far different than I do now. And so when I look back at my 15-year-old self, I made choices that I cannot understand as an adult because I no longer have those thoughts, those feelings, and those emotions that I did back then, right? And so when I look back on those circumstances, it stresses me out. Things that didn't used to make me feel embarrassed, I'm embarrassed of because I'm effectively a different person than I used to be. And so for a skeleton, it's the same thing, but it's repeatedly. It's over and over and over and over. They have to pick between staying who they are and going insane, or giving up their own individuality and becoming somebody new. It's like repeatedly being forced to take your own life. It's awful. Absolutely awful. And coincidentally, I think that process, that skeleton reset, is the same process that was eventually, in the same way that Kytrin turned into Stobe became Kytrin, that Catlon became Okran, that the anti-human skeletons became Narco. I think the skeleton reset process is the inspiration for the Phoenix reincarnation system, where the skeleton dies, quote unquote, dies, and becomes a new person with no skills, almost like an infant that has to relearn everything, but they have all the memories of the previous incarnation, the previous version of themselves. Well, when the Phoenix dies, he gets reincarnated into the next firstborn male with no skills, and becomes with no skills, but has all the alleged memories of the previous Phoenix. He becomes the voice of Okran, the embodiment of Okran. I think the Holy Nation's reincarnation system for the Phoenix was a deliberate or was a deliberate misrepresentation or alteration of the skeleton reset process as they were removing skeleton aspects from the religion. That's what I think. What are my expectations for Kenshi 2? That it's going to be like incredible. That's my expectation for Kenshi 2. Humans imitating skeletons. Yeah. I mean, think about it. The entire Holy Nation religion seems to be based in skeletons, but having the skeleton aspects removed. You know? Their founder figure was presumably a skeleton. Their holy figure was presumably a skeleton. It would make sense that the processes on their for their religion were presumably based in being a skeleton. I personally think that the first Holy Lord Phoenix that liberated the cult from the Second Empire during Catlan's whole, tyranny, I think the first Phoenix was a skeleton. When will Wife Neil be canon? I know it's coming. I don't know, Sai. I don't know, man. I don't know. Although we are headed out that way soon, so we'll probably grab Sad Neil once we go through. What if it's just Sad Neil in a wig? What if it's just me in a wig? It's just me in a wig. I've made jokes that for my 20K special, I'm gonna make my wife play Kenshi on stream for the first time with no prior knowledge. She's never played Kenshi before. And what is it? Frankie kept making jokes a couple weeks ago when I said it, that it's just gonna be me in a wig. I'm just gonna show up as me in a wig. Does Elder also have the same age as Mad Catlan? I mean, all the skeletons were presumably built during the... Oh, yeah, it's going to be vanilla. I'm not going to make her play modded Kenshi. That'd be mean. All the skeletons were... I remember the whole reason I went there in the first place. All the skeletons were built during the First Empire. As far as we know, no skeletons have been made since the fall of the First Empire. That technology has been lost, or the materials have been lost. I mean, in terms of the same age, yeah, relatively speaking, he's the same age. I think that Elder has reset more recently than obviously Catlan has, but I also think Elder was a part of the anti-human faction during that little skeleton civil war I was talking about, which would explain a lot of his rhetoric and why he uses Stobe as the baseline for his crusade against humanity. Sorry, I'm trying to read these at the same time. What? Hold on. What did friend Alex say? Who said something? Friend Alex, it would make sense. How could he know so much if he wasn't a human interface built by Lo-Fi? It's true. It's true. It's not, though. But it's not true. It's not true. Who's Elder? Elder is the leader of the Skeleton Bandits. They do not have the blueprint that I'm looking for. Okay. All right, we're gonna head over there. He slipped up. I slipped up. God damn it, guys! The damage was already done. Lo-Fi came in here and made the joke already. I can't undo it. They're on to us. Oh God. Oh God, it's happening. It keeps happening. My wife's gonna think this is the funniest thing. I'm gonna like wake her up when I'm done on stream and tell her about this because it keeps happening. Oh man. Did we get attacked by zombies? I think we got attacked by something. Oh, we did. Oh shit, those are not zombies. Those are dust bandits. Yeah, they probably pretty mad. Dust raiders. Sorry, they're dust raiders. That makes sense. Everything is a constant double down. It's true. Everything's a constant double down. Joke, he said, knowing full well he's got an exclusive 3-year contract. Oh, man. All right, we're going to take these Dusties down. Take them down. They're very frustrated with me. Oh, shit, they got, like, actually really good. Shame YouTube took away clipping from us. I mean, I keep the VODs up, and you can clip VODs. New theory. Hero is the IRL bugmaster obsessed with making theories and gets slowly more deranged. That one's probably true. We want Rideable Beast and Kenshi too. Mounts would be pretty cool. Mounts would be pretty cool. Is the grounded combat animation mod pretty tame compared to the others? Yeah, so I use Dig's combat animation, more combat animations, and grounded, and I use the blowback patch for grounded so that way you don't have as much knockback. And I find the three of them are very tame. I don't like using combat animation mods that are too broken or that add in like super high intensity moves with a ton of hitbox chance. Ton of collision chance. I mean, on hitboxes because like it breaks the balance of the game. But I find that Diggs, Grounded, and more combat animations. Those three are really tame. All of them are listed in my mod collection, which is in the description down below for this playthrough. Oh yeah, more look zombies showed up. Fantastic. Yeah, I have the full mod collection listed down below in the description. So you can either it's all available for one-click download, or you can cherry pick depending if you want. Admittedly, it's been a while since I played Kenshi. How much has Kenshi changed the modding space? It has changed. It's been a renaissance of the modding, absolute renaissance in terms of modding. It basically revamps the code for Kenshi to be more open and available for modding, by like rebuilding it in C++. It has opened the doorway to some absolutely incredible mods. Complete renaissance in Kenshi modding. It's done, like, we've been able to do things that were, frankly, undoable before, to the point where people are able to add in actually whole new continents, whole new buildings and islands and stuff, on Kenshi, which was something that was not able to be done before. Rotating objects in your inventory. I have new inventory spaces. Look at this. Eyes, hands, neck. I have new inventory spaces. It's crazy. Yeah, absolute renaissance for Kenshi modding. Kenshi's been huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah, it's been crazy. Are these all zombies? What the hell? Yeah, these are all zombies. Who are they fighting? Just a random dude? Just a random guy with a katana? Feel bad for that guy. He's about to get his shit rocked. I'm not gonna help him, of course, but we'll kill this one zombie. Yeah, I'm not going to assist him, of course, because that would be crazy. Absolute lunacy. Absolute lunacy. Go to 5 times. Zombies, yeah, so the theme of this run is a zombie apocalypse run. It's called the Outbreak mod. It adds in 3 tiers of an infection that gets progressively worse as the game goes on after certain NPCs have been killed. Zombies will get stronger. And by stage 2, they're able to take out like whole towns and cities and stuff. By stage 3, they're supposed to be almost impossible. The point of the run is to try and ride out the apocalypse. We're going to create an outpost and we're going to try and ride out the apocalypse. But yeah, these are the zombies, and they're terrifying. Their sheer numbers alone are devastating. But yeah, we're going to try and ride out the apocalypse and see how that goes. See how that goes. And our favorite asshole son, Luke. Yeah, that's true. Luke is kind of a tool. That's how he was designed to be. That's how I wrote his profile. Yeah, they look really gnarly up close. When do you think you're gonna start building? I'll probably start building in earnest next stream. I'm trying to head over to the Avalon Isles right now. So that is the goal, is to get over there right now. And we'll probably start building in earnest next stream. We'll probably start building in earnest by the next stream. But I've been hesitant to start building because once you start building, that's when the raids begin, the zombie raids. And the zombie raids are where you can trigger the infection to start spreading. How long will the stream be on? I usually go to about 11:30 my time, so about another 45 minutes or so. Because I go to the gym after stream, so I have to be able to like go to the gym, come back, shower, and then go to bed and get some 5-6 hours of sleep before I wake up with the kids. Shift F12 build video, maybe? I mean, not... so I usually on stream, I try to build legitimately. I use the Shift F12 to move buildings around that I've already built, but I try to build legitimately. I do have to put together another build video, though, soon. I've had people asking for it, and They're not actually difficult to make. I just finding time sometimes is difficult, but I do have to put one together soon. I think I'll probably be able to have one out by next week. I also should have a new video coming out. The plan is Sunday for a new long form video. I'm either going to be doing the science of Kenshi, talking about Vayne, why Vayne is red, or I'm going to be doing what if video on what if Catlon tried to retake Kenshi. I'm not quite sure yet. Not quite sure yet. They're fire. If I get really good with the Shift F12 building, I want to make speed build videos. Hell yeah, please do it. I have yet to see any other content creator creating Shift F12 content, like building with building using the Shift F12 and like making like super stylized and intricate bases. Even though I've been advocating for it for like 3 years now. I want people to do it, but I haven't seen anybody else do it. So if please, by the love of all that is holy, make some Shift F12 content. I don't want to be the only one, guys. Please do it. Please do it. Red Vein synergizes with your moon people. Well, that's kind of my thought is, you know, my recent video on the Preacher cult talked a little bit about Vayne and the red waters of Vayne and the rain and stuff. And so I think it'd be interesting to kind of dive more into the science behind why Vayne could be red, the environmental factors, why the water on the ground is acidic, but the rain is not, why the soil is red, all of that kind of stuff, why the hivers live there, why they enjoy it, all that good stuff. The nutrients and all that stuff. Jesus Christ. Deadlands has such a high zombie population. High zombie population. It's honestly downright terrifying. Got to be careful about that. I've seen the result of Saxon and Danny's channel when they built their base, but the actual build itself. And yeah, they use Shift F12 to do it. And yes, their base Bloodforge looks glorious. Yeah, I mean, I wish I want to see more like speed builds, right? Like I've done. Obviously, I have my videos where I build whole bases using the Shift F12. I've done it on stream a few times too, but I don't see as many people doing like full length building tutorials, talking about their builds, talking about how they made the stuff, how they put it together, how they got certain things to work. Right. One of the big questions I always get is how I'm able to make like my staircases and some of my more intricate designs work, why they're able to function in Kenshi, because that's a difficult thing to do, and I'd like to see more people doing it. I think it's a great avenue for content, you know. Every time I use the Shift F12 in place of building, characters just run through them. What am I doing wrong? You gotta save and reload. You don't have to import, just save and reload. When you place down a building, it doesn't place down the hitbox or the collision box for it until you reload, and then when you reload it, it fixes it. It should stop after I reload and imports. Yeah, just reload. You shouldn't need to import, just to reload. You also need to make sure if you're building with the Shift F12, this is just a quick little helpful for people. If you're building with the Shift F12, before you do anything, you need to actually in-game build a small shack. That creates the border for your outpost, right? So that creates in the town placement. Ah, shit, that was a boo-boo. I actually hit reset population. Hopefully that doesn't screw anything up. Might have hit a bad button. Hold on, gotta do a reload. I hit the wrong button. No big deal. Skinner's Realm. Anyway, so when you're doing the Shift F12, don't hit the reset population button, firstly. That's a boo-boo. And you need to go to town placement, scroll all the way down to the bottom, hit your outpost, and then you need to place this in the center of your outpost after you're done placing buildings down with the Shift F12. Okay? And that makes it so that way all of those buildings are now owned by your faction. If you don't do that, when you reload, the buildings will likely just not be there anymore, right? Or they'll be owned by the faction that's nearby that's not yours. So build a small shack, then place all your buildings, then do your town placement, and then save and reload, and everything should be fine. Everything should be fine. That's also how you create custom towns for the FCS. So like in the FCS, you'd go in, you'd build your entire thing down, you'd go into the FCS, you'd create a custom town, so that way it'll show up on this list. You find that town, place it down. Now everything is owned by that town. You have to make a custom faction or whatever you're doing that owns that town, and then you'd go down, select the mod because you'd have to make a new mod, and hit save mod, and that's how you make new mods. That's how I do my Kenshi Coliseum series. I made a mod with the arena, and then all I do is I edit a custom start with the various NPCs or the various characters that I'm using for the arena fight that day, and I have them load into the arena in a custom start, and the arena is part of a mod. Have you ever used Shift F12 to add in rocks and debris? I think incorporating some geological aspects might upgrade one of your base builds. I have done it a couple of times. The access to certain like types of fauna and stuff is not as extensive in the Shift F12 as you might expect it to be, unless you use like Forgotten Construction Kit and the Forgotten Buildings. I mean, and a few other ones. So. Question, if you build a building normally and then Shift F12 to add other buildings nearby, doesn't do the same thing without needing to place that outpost statue? Yeah. So if you build the buildings legitimately and then you just add the move them with the Shift F12, you still need to save and reload to update the collision, but it'll still be owned by you. You don't have to worry about that. It's only if you're placing buildings using the Shift F12 that you have to use you have to do the little town placement thing. It's only if you're placing down buildings from scratch. But if you build them legitimately, like I do on stream, and then you move them into place, all good. Can stacked buildings be accessed by units after using the Shift F12, like a small shack on a station house? As long as you don't go over the side of the roof, because there are hard lines on roofs of buildings that prevent you from being able to cross over them. Like, you can't put a ladder from one building or a stairway from one building onto another if it goes over the side of the building. But what you can do is you can put a swamp shack on top of a station house, and the swamp shack will function. The swamp shack will function. You will be able to go into it as long as it doesn't go over the side of the building. That does not, however, count for front porches, right? Like the front of the station house, where you have that like walkway, you can put things that go over the side of that railing. And that's how I end up making compact keeps a lot of the time, is I'll build a station house there, and then I might put like a tower nearby, and I'll have the stairs go up off the front porch of the tower, and I'll put it nice and tightly so you can get up there. And then, you can make compact keeps that way. But the roofs of buildings, you're not going to be able to get off of. The collision won't let you. I've tried it. Can't be done. Cannot be done. If you're on floor 1 or like floor 0, you're fine. But if you can't do it from floor 2 or anything like that. I'm trying to transcribe Kenshi music into an electronic guitar. Is that tough? As someone who does not play electric guitar, probably. I have no idea. I don't know. I feel like probably. It sounds like it'd be difficult. I have no idea. I do feel like some of Kenshi's music is very like not one note, but like it's 1 or 2 notes at a time. Like it's a lot of like finger plucking. It's not as much like playing chords as much as it would be like plucking. I think that would be not terrible. But then other ones I think would be really hard. Like playing Fertile or playing Kenshi, like the theme song Kenshi, would be probably difficult. But some of the other ones would be a lot more plucking. I think that would probably be pretty easy comparatively. Or plucking. All right, so we are on our way to the Avalon Isles. On our way. I feel like someone has already done a Kenshi guitar theme. I mean, maybe I haven't seen, but I've also never looked it up, so who knows? Probably though. Probably. We need to get Grant Stinnett to do it. We need Grant Stinnett on bass doing it. If anyone hasn't ever heard of Grant Stinnett, check out Grant Stinnett, Run of the Angels. Dude plays bass guitar like a fucking god. It's absolutely incredible. Grant Stinnett, Run of the Angels. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, man. Trip to the Avalon Isles is going to take a while. Hopefully, though, once we're up there, we'll be at a safe enough distance that we won't have to be there. What genre of music do you listen to? Quite literally everything. My Spotify probably looks like an absolute hodgepodge, a patchwork of different bullshit. I listen to almost everything except for folk and polka. Folk and polka. Damn polka. Nah, I listen to everything. I don't have a specific genre. Listen to everything. Listen to literally everything. Miles Davis Centennial today. Interesting. I'm playing Kenshi right now, and I saw. Oh, hey, yeah. That's my favorite type of viewer. Is one that's also that's also playing Kenshi while they watch and listen to me play Kenshi. Listen to Drake. Not particularly. No. I don't listen to every artist, but I listen to almost every genre. I know that you have the ambient list for DMing. Well, of course. Of course. Folk is just country, but not pop. So I think there's a subgenre, right? So like, folk is not. I don't think folk is country, but not pop, because there's a subgenre of country, like I. This is funny. I don't know if I've coined the term, but I thought of it, and I don't know if I'm the only one that thought of it, but I've thought of it. I call the variant of country music that's almost like hip hop, like Florida Georgia Line and stuff. I call them hick hop. And I think that's really funny. It's hick hop. But I don't think I would classify folk as country, but not pop. Folk is country without accents. That's fair. That's fair. I got engineering research to get right now. Can you tell me how to get it? Ancient Labs. Good one. Ancient Labs. Shark should have had an upbeat jazz a la Cowboy Bebop. I'm trying to think what would fit. Jazz would probably actually fit Shark pretty well, but I also kind of like the boonies, like bang da da dang like banjo type vibe that it has sometimes, because you know, it's kind of got that like Louisiana bayou kind of moonshiner vibe, even though it's supposed to be like loosely based on the, like, Shark itself is based on the loosely based on the crime families from Fallout New Vegas, if my understanding is correct. But I've always liked the whole like bumpkiny fucking banjo vibe that it has going on, you know. It's hard for me to get with a lot of country, and it's crazy because I've grown up on country. I mean, I've grown up in the country. So, like, my mother was like, my mother was very much a only listen to country. Anything other than country and like oldies was not allowed in the house. Like, we'd get reamed out and grounded if we listened. Like, if my mother heard Eminem in the house, it was the end of the world. It was the end of the world. Absolutely end of the world. So like, I was forced to listen to country excessively as a child, and so I'm not really a huge country fan comparatively. There are some country songs that I like, but not as much. Country's lower on my list. However, I do enjoy the old stuff. Basically, anything between like 74 and like 85 is great. Like, I love 90% of songs from Jim Croce between 1974 and 1976. Not 74, 64 and 66. Is it 70 or 60? Anyway, Jim Croce. I love Jim Croce. Love some Jim Croce. And I love a lot of the oldies and stuff too. So I'm down with that. But yeah, country music tends to give me a bit of a headache. If you were asked to direct the Kenshi series, HBO scale funding, what sort of or overarching plot would you likely pursue? Anthology. Kenshi, in my opinion, if it was ever to be converted into a show, not that like I would want that, but if it was ever to be converted into, contraband check, fine, I understand. Yeah, if Kenshi was ever to be converted into a TV show, in my opinion, it would need to be an anthology series where every single episode is a different group of people, a different plot, a different story. Because the point of Kenshi, the entire point of Kenshi, is that you're not the main character. You don't matter. And that, like, you're not a special figure. And so I think introducing a special figure or a main character would damage that. Instead, I would want it to be an anthology series where every episode follows a new group of people. And by the end of the episode, in my opinion, I think at the end of every episode, like, everyone should die at the end of the episode, to be honest with you. But, I think that... at the very least, every episode would need to be different. Every episode would need to be different. So I would run it as an anthology series if it was up to me. Lore theory, if the Fog Queen is trapped, how do they reproduce, or do they not at all? I think they do reproduce. I do think, obviously, because they have endless numbers. If the Queen is trapped, I don't think she's trapped. Let me clarify. I don't think she's trapped. I think the way that we could justify that we don't see her in-game is because, excuse me, she is underground, and in Kenshi 1, we don't have access to underground because of engine limitations, and that would explain how they're able to, A, regenerate, but why we, the player, cannot go find them. So... the 80s were a mistake musically. Touche. 90s were peak, man. 90s were peak music. Early 90s, like 90 to like 95, 96, peak music. Peak. So good. So good. So good. Specifically for like rock, right? Like rock was, dude, fucking peak. Peak. Late 80s, early 90s rock was peak. I think it'd be. I think if they did an anthology series, each episode, like you could do like references to other characters, right? So like brand new cast of characters, but maybe reference other ones, right? So like say in one episode you're following a Holy Nation paladin, right? And he saves. He ends up going against Okra, the Holy Nation's wishes, and he saves a Shek, a Shek who was about to die, right? And then she goes off and does something, and then you continue to follow the Holy Nation Paladin story, and he gets locked up and tried and burned, and the episode ends with him dying in a post. Maybe 2 episodes later, you're following the story of that Shek that he saved, right? Like, you could have each episode connect through one character, but make the stories completely different. Different main character every episode. Different main character every episode, though. I think that would be the answer. That would be the way. That is the way. The way. Tengu is the country music of Kenshi. No one really likes him or wants him. He's just there. Touche. You're right. I mean, you're right. You're right, though. You're right, though. Gotta get rest up, beep. Rest up the beepus. I did it in the name of science. Turns out if you try to have the AI make bumpkin jazz, it just creates jazz. That's so funny. That's so funny. Kenshi has a crazy timeline as well. I mean, we don't know the timeline of Kenshi. Like, it's long, though. I mean, we know that. I've theorized, based on some Holy Nation texts and everything, the Holy Nation specifically, we know started as a cult in the Second Empire, and the Holy Nation scriptures indicate that it is anywhere between 1 to 5,000 years old. We don't know how long the Second Empire ran. It could have been for a long time. Catelyn's a skeleton. He don't age. Many generations. We know that at least. We know at least many generations. So, like, we don't know how long the Second Empire went, but, like, the Holy Nation could be anywhere between 1 and 5,000 years old. And if it's upwards of 5,000 years old, we don't know how long the Age of Chaos was. It must have been long enough for humanity to completely regress from a spacefaring megalithic society that's, like, a 1.7 on the Kardashev scale down to where they are now, which is, like, a fucking 0.4. 0.4, 0.5. At best. So, Age of Chaos must have been a long period of time. We don't know how long the First Empire was there for and how long they ruled for. They were the dominant force on Kenshi. I mean, Kenshi's timeline could be anywhere between 5 to 10,000 plus years old. It could be a very long timeline, Very, very long. Very long time. Metal limbs have melee users. So in base Kenshi, the usage of metal limbs is supposed to help melee characters because it's supposed to increase their strength and their unarmed damage. The unarmed damage specifically, though, is bugged and doesn't actually give you the increase it's supposed to in base Kenshi, unfortunately. But it does increase your strength, which ups your damage output, so it's kind of a non-issue. Plus, it's usually only by like 1 or 2 points that it, or a handful of points that it increases it. All right, we have a little bit of money. We're going to go to the bar, stock up on some food, and then we're going to head to the Avalon Isles, where we are going to, I guess we're going to start basing and see how this goes. Get a little bit more food. We got enough building materials to get started. Yeah, we got enough building materials to get started. I am going to... I'm going to sell these for right now. I know it's a risky move, but I need ancient science. I need normal science books, and I need wheat straw and stuff so we can get started on farming, because we have to be self-sufficient. Like it's important that we become self-sufficient. So I'm going to need 2 wheat straw right from the get-go. Are we able to fit some in here? No. Able to fit in here? No. No, it's not. Plates. Did we just drop those iron plates? Is that a thing that just happened? We did. All right. Ruka, pick up some iron plates. Pick them up. Fantastic. Mar, again, pick up some iron plates. Fantastic. We need to continue buying some more wheat straw because we need more. We need more of that. Additionally, we're going to need copper too. So let's grab some copper. Some of those. We're going to need some more science books. Need a bunch of those for sure. We're going to need cotton. Grab as much cotton as we can too. Beep, load up on that. Is there anything else that we're going to need right off rip? I don't think so. I think we should be okay. Wing Wang, grab some water, you two Helix. All right. So now we're set and ready to go in terms of travel, and we should be able to get the makings of a fine outpost started. So we're going to head up towards the Avalon Isles. Once we get there and we get our base set up and established, we're not actually going to be fully building it tonight, but the plan is that once we get the base started to be established, we will, go from there. And then next episode will be us largely getting there. Lo-Fi cannot silence me, I don't think. I mean, maybe. Maybe. Are you saying Crumble John ruined his back fornicating with a skeleton? I did not say that. Did not say that. Actually, fun fact, I learned this the other day. Did not know this. Crumble John is actually Chris's self-insert. So Crumble John's model, his design, his character design, is based on Chris's old character design that was basically, it was Crumble John but younger, right? Like Chris's character model that he used in game was Crumble John but a younger version of him. And Crumble John makes comments about how he makes jokes about how he gets his power from his beard, and apparently those are direct quotes from Chris. Apparently he used to make jokes about that all the time. Did not know that. Learned that the other day. Crumble John is actually Chris's self-insert. Yeah, didn't know that. Allegedly, yeah. So Crumble John is supposed to be an old senile version of Chris, which I think is literally so fucking funny. So funny. What do you mean he made himself the least like character? Everyone loves Crumble John. I don't think he's not one of my top 5, but like I do enjoy him. I'm not as crazy about him as a lot of the other community is, but I do enjoy him. Although learning that makes me enjoy him far more because it gives like a better presence to him. Jesus Christ, look at all those zombies, man. Look at them. There's nuts. They're everywhere. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Devastating. Head out to the Avalon Isles. Zombies making the desert feel alive. How ironic. I know. Who are you guys? Are you guys rebel farmers? You know what we're going to do with rebel farmers? We're going to have the zombies get killed by rebel farmers. I think Bard is the origin character most people don't care for. Him and Ray. I don't mind Bard. I'm kind of bland though. In full transparency, I'm more partial to some of the old other ones. Like I like what is it? I like Griffin. I like Beep. I like Agnew. You know, I find them interesting. I find Griffin to be a very compelling character narratively. Beep's a cinnamon bun. Agnew is Beep's best buddy, so you gotta love Agnew by default. All right, so if we go out to the Avalon Isles over here, getting back and forth will be a bit of a bitch because we'll have to swim. But it should buy us the ability to, you know, hold the line against the zombies better. As an alternative, we could always go to the Howler Maze and recruit crabs. Who's attacking us? Whoa, 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 whoa. Things are moving. Are those zombies? Please tell me that they don't walk underwater that quick. Oh my god, they run under the water. Oh my god, they run under the water. What the fuck? They don't swim, they run under the water. Oh, that's horrifying. That's truly horrifying. Oh god. Oh god. That's downright terrifying. That's downright terrifying. Okay, slight alteration in the plan. Slight alteration in the plan. Ever so slight. Gut's looking a bit better. Yeah, Gut's looking a little bit better. Gut is looking a little bit better. Oh my god, they run under the water. That's devastating. This news that I've learned is devastating. Who's got the lantern? Who's following me with a lantern? Does one of my people have a lantern? Who the fuck? Oh, it's Shrike. I had no idea. I had no idea. Shows what I know. The answer? Nothing. I don't know shit. Oh, terrible. Truly terrible. Downright deplorable stuff. My god. Time is it? It is 11:21. Okay, so we still got a little bit of time. A little bit of time. Yeah, I can't believe they run out of water. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. Oh my god. The problem with setting up with the Gut right now is I don't think we are going to be able to hold off the beakers long enough to do that, right? Because we'll have to get the stone. Oh, man, this is terrible. Can beak things become zombies? No, 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 no. Although by stage 3, the zombies are less zombies and they're more super mutants from Fallout in full transparency. Maybe we can set up right here on this ridge. This is a good ridge. I like this ridge. This is a good ridge. The beak things can fight the zombies, though. It'll be great. Good flat ridge. We can probably make a nice city here. Although we don't need something flat. Typically, I try to avoid flat things, but the zombies will be coming from not over there. I mean, this is probably our best spot, is right here. Oh my god, this is so fucked up. They run. I can't believe they run under the water. Also, they've gotten faster. I feel like we're having less of the slow-moving zombies and more of the sprinters. What's up with that? What is up with that? I feel like we're getting less of the slow ones and more of the sprinters. Although the beak things seem to be doing pretty well holding them off. So the hope is that if we base in Gut, they will, you know, they'll hold them off. That's a pack of zombies. That's a pack of zombies. Oh my god. I hate it here. Okay, well that didn't go well for us. We got absolutely fucking beeped. Absolutely fucking beeped. Oh my god. Not great. Not great, guys. Not great. How did we get messed up so bad? How did it all go so bad? Shrike almost lost a leg. We got absolutely beaked. Oh my god. How did it all go so wrong? One beak thing did that? That seems excessive. That seems excessive. I'm starting to think no matter where we base, we're gonna have a serious fight on our hands. Oh shit, go save Ruka. Yeah, this is one of those moments. This is one of those moments. Are the zombies dying to beak things? Yes, currently, but that's not going to last for long. And Shrike lost her leg. Shrike has lost a leg. Oh, yeah. Yep, we're in a great spot now, boys. We're in a good spot now. Real good stuff happening here, everybody. Real good stuff is happening here. It's we're fucking killing it. We're fucking killing it. Shrike's down a leg. Oh my god, no. Big oofs in the chat, alright. Yeah, big oofs in the chat. Zombies everywhere. They're spreading. Yeah, this is bad. Things are bad. Things are really bad. I wasn't expecting it to go this way. Fuck. Real bad. Oh god, why? This is pure Kenshi. Pure Kenshi. Shrike's down a leg. One beak thing absolutely nommed the hell out of us. We barely made it out. That was awful. Half of our guys are in recovery comas. If this was a drinking game, I'd be screwed. Not great. Not great. We're in a bad shape. We're in a bad shape. Unfortunately, too, it's about that time, guys. It's about that time. I'm going to have to cut it because I have to go to the gym. But don't you worry. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. My God. My God. Absolute degeneracy. Terrible stuff. It's all going according to plan. It's all going according to plan. I don't know whose plan, but it's going on a plan. What a cliffhanger. Literally. See? We're on a cliff. I did it. It's ironic. It's funny. About time. About that time. Anyway, guys. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, as I usually am. We'll be doing even more Kenshi shenanigans tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Everybody who popped in and chatted with us and had a good time and hung out and all that stuff. And, yeah, my God. My God. Also, sincere thank you to everybody who donated and you know, gifted memberships and all that good stuff tonight. You guys are absolutely goated. Fantastic. I appreciate each and every one of you. And, you know, just coming and hanging out is always just good enough. But your guys' continuous support is what allows me to do this full time and to continue to bring you guys more Kenshi content. I hope you guys enjoyed the lore discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed Lo-Fi. Popping in and continuing to fuel the endless stream of rumors that I've had to put down over the last couple of weeks, couple of months. Yeah, have a good night, everybody. As always, use your powers for good instead of evil. Make a difference in somebody's life, and I will see you tomorrow for more of the Horde. Have a good one, everybody.